Safe journey home to both of you, Pat Nevin and Vicky Sparks. Back to Tom Gale at Ellen Road.
28 minutes gone, Mark. Leeds 0, Everton 1. Gylfi Sigurdsson's tap-in on 9 minutes, the difference. And aside from a good 2-minute spell from Everton, it's been all Leeds. Alioski's hit the post with a spectacular edge-of-the-box volley straight from a corner. And the latest corner saw Pascal Struijk's header drew a good save from Robin Olsen, who's in for Jordan Pickford. 29 minutes gone. It's Leeds 0, Everton 1.
Half-time in the Championship, goalless between Rotherham and Derby, approaching the quarter-hour mark at Brentford, and they trail Bristol City by 1-0. In the early games in the Scottish Premiership, Hamilton 1, Ross County 2, Motherwell 2, Dundee United 1. 15 minutes or so in at Ibrox, and it's goalless between Rangers and St Johnstone. 15 minutes in the Championship as well, and both games are goalless. Arbroath against Inverness and Dunfermline against Wraith. Chelsea's women are through to the Continental Cup final. They thrashed West Ham 6-0 earlier. Half an hour gone in the other semi, and it's goalless between Bristol City and Leicester. You're up to date with all the evening's football. 8:01 will be at Anfield shortly after the latest BBC News.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The BBC News on 5 Live. More than 10 million people across the UK have now received their first dose of a coronavirus vaccine. The government's aim is to have care home residents and carers, people over 70, frontline care workers and the clinically extremely vulnerable vaccinated by February the 15th. But problems with supplies and deliveries have called into doubt whether this is achievable. Dr. Azel Sartbeva is an expert in the transport and logistics of vaccines from the University of Bath.
We will be getting another vaccine soon in March, the Moderna COVID vaccine. So obviously that's going to increase our armory against COVID, which means we probably will be getting towards that goal sometime in March. Whether we're going to get there in February is hard to say at the moment.
The Shadow Health Secretary, Jonathan Ashworth, welcomed the figure of 10 million jabs, but said that the government also needed to focus on other policies to combat the spread of COVID-19.
We're still not paying people decent sick pay and isolation support. If we want to get on top of the virus, to break the chains of transmission, if you're sick with COVID, you need to be given the financial support to stay at home. Government are still not doing that, sadly.
The government says that it's taken decisive action to provide financial support to people during the pandemic. Talks have ended between the Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove, the European Commission and the Stormont Executive about extending exemptions on checks for some goods being transported between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The discussions were described as constructive, but no decisions have yet been announced. And people across the UK have taken part in clapping their tribute to Captain Sir Tom Moore. The event was announced by Prime Minister Boris Johnson to MPs in the House of Commons as a way of remembering the 100-year-old Second World War veteran who raised nearly £33 million for NHS charities last year.
On BBC iPlayer.
Planet Earth was perfect. But now a new force is sending our perfect planet off balance. Humans. Human activity is now so dominant, it's disrupting the forces of nature and the vital habitats that life needs to survive on Earth.
Can't you see? A Perfect Planet with David Attenborough. All episodes streaming now on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Earlier on in the Premier League, Burnley 0, Manchester City 2, Fulham 0, Leicester 2. Just over half an hour gone at Ellen Road, and Everton still lead Leeds by 1-0. The 8:15 games are Aston Villa against West Ham. That's on 5 Live Sports Extra. And Liverpool against Brighton at Anfield. Here's Ian Dennis.
Yes, the team news is that Mane is still missing for Liverpool, and there's no Alisson in goal this evening due to illness, so Kelleher comes in to replace him. Firmino is the other change from the side that beat West Ham United. Firmino replacing Origi. So Kelleher in goal, a back four of Alexander-Arnold, Phillips, Henderson and Robertson. Milner, Thiago and Wijnaldum the midfield three. Salah, Firmino and Shaqiri are the front three. One of their new acquisitions that they bought on deadline day, Ben Davies, he is on the bench. As for Brighton and Hove Albion, their 2 changes are in force because McAllister has a buttock injury and there is a little bit of tightness for Veltman. So Byrne and Alzate come in. Sanchez is in goal. A back 3 of Webster, Dunk and Byrne. Thinking White will be the right wing back and March the left wing back, with Gross, Basuma, Trossard and Alzate behind Neil Maupay.
Just one on Brighton, Dion Dublin, first of all, who's alongside Ian Davis. Those couple of changes are a bit of a blow for Brighton because their midfield 3 in particular, with McAllister as part of that midfield 3, were excellent against Tottenham.
Yeah, and it is a pity because they just started to form what I would consider some nice sort of interplay, some nice triangles, 1 and 2 touch. Yeah, you're right, the last time they were out, they just looked so comfortable in each other's sort of surroundings. So, yeah, it's a bit of a blow for them, and they'll have to start again, Chappers, and unfortunately they're starting again against a Liverpool side that I feel are just starting to show us what they really can do. They haven't sorted out the defences yet. We'll find that out when their new signings come in, but yeah, it could be a tall order for Brighton tonight.
We did a thing on Monday night about the last Premier League champions to dip into the Football League and sign a player, and somebody suggested Manchester United signing you, although I don't think United were champions when you moved there from Cambridge.
I finished to say that, Chappers. I think they might have been champions after they signed me. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Just wanted to throw it out there.
As ever, Dion, I set them up and you just
thank you, sir.
Knock them straight through the covers for 4. But I realise it was a very different era when you did that. But do you think there will be a culture shock for Ben Davies going from Preston to Liverpool?
You know what, Chavez, the only way I can relate to it, I know it's not as big a gulf that I had to sort of deal with, but the gulf is still there. It's still Liverpool Football Club, and what you'll find is that it might take him a while to realise who he's playing with. He'll still be in disbelief that he's been signed by Liverpool, regardless of who you are. When you get signed by a big club, whether you're at another big club, it's a massive thing. When you're at a smaller club and you get signed by one of the best clubs in the whole of the world, it does take a long time for you to find your feet and to be accepted.
I mean, this
starstruck, like, yes, you are.
Are you starstruck?
100%, Chappers. When I signed for Man United, I'd only seen the lads on Match of the Day and stuff. That's all I'd seen them on, you know. And then I was sat next to, I had Mark Hughes on my left-hand side, I had Peter Schmeichel on the right, and I didn't know whether shall I talk to them. Are you allowed to talk to them? Do they talk to you? I had no idea. But they were that good, and they took me, you know, under their wing, and they looked after me. And I think it'll be the same here at Liverpool. That's the kind of culture they have.
And the first training session, I mean, is that exciting? Is that horrific? I mean, are you sick beforehand?
Yeah. Internally sick, yes, not externally sick.
Well, you might be externally with nerves.
Some players I do know, you know, do get nervous. But what I will say, certain players, Chappers, within big football clubs, want you to realise that this is the standard you are now having to play at. What I mean by that is, when I signed for United, very first training session, Roy Keane, Scholes, Robson, they would pass the ball into me as a centre forward just a little bit harder than normal. Can he deal with it? Can he deal with the pressure? He's got Gary Pallister marking him in the training session. Can he deal with bringing it down, holding Pallister off and going? Fortunately for me, I did it first time, it worked, they trusted me. Same happened at Villa with Steve Staunton. So the higher you play, the more you have to be accepted at that standard.
What about initiation? Did you do any, in terms of an initiation, did you have to do anything silly?
You know what, I was fortunate. Hey, I'm 6'2", 16 and a half stone. They were all too frightened. Absolutely no chance.
Dion, you weren't 16 and a half stone back then.
I was about 16 then. 16 stone. But you're right. No, but you're right, Deno. Most players have to do something, and I don't know why. I don't know why I got away with it. What I did do, though, and I don't think many people know this, what I did do was, our first game was Monday night away at Southampton. I missed the plane.
Did you?
I missed the plane to Southampton on the Sunday night.
Wow.
I went to Old Trafford and the lads met at a hotel on the motorway. I was slightly frightened when I had to ring the gaffer and say, sorry, boss, I'm still at Old Trafford.
Just a final one on him, because he's not, he's not a kid, is he? He's 25, he's been out on loan several times as he's built his career at Preston. The fact that the games come so thick and fast, and there aren't the same number of training sessions that he might have in a normal season. Jurgen Klopp has spoken about how actually to get him used to Liverpool's patterns of play will be a little bit harder because of that. Maybe,
but I think when you have players like the captain like Henderson and Wijnaldum and Milner and good senior pros, Oxlade-Chamberlain, they'll all be helping him out. They'll all be trying to make sure that he relaxes as soon as possible. He couldn't have gone to a better club in regards, right, we'll look after our new signings, and I think Liverpool do it very well.
Let's go to the other game that kicks off at 8:15, Aston Villa against West Ham. This is on Sports Extra. This should be a cracker, John Akers.
Should be, as Jack Grealish leads out Aston Villa here. Jesse Lingard starts for West Ham after joining from Manchester United on loan. His first Premier League appearance since he scored for United at Leicester in the final game of last season, and his first Premier League start since June at Norwich. He's one of two changes that David Moyes has made for this one. The team that lost at home against Liverpool. Ryan Fredericks also comes into the side. Bowen and Fornals drop to the bench. Morgan Sanson, I'm going with that, Mark. I'm just going to go full French on it. He will have to wait for his full debut for Villa after signing for around 15 million from Marseille on a 4.5-year deal. He's on the bench. Just one change from the 1-0 win at Southampton. Anwar El Ghazi comes in, replacing Bertrand Traoré.
John, thank you very much. Dion, you interviewed Grealish, didn't you, yesterday for this week's Football Focus?
Yeah, I did, yes, and he was incredibly relaxed. And I did ask him. I was just speaking to Deno about this here by the side of me, and obviously over 2 meters away from me. I was asking him, do you find the game hard or do you find it easy because you bowl about the pitch like you're playing in the park? And he said, Dion, I try to think that I'm just playing with my mates. I don't put myself under any pressure. I'm playing for Aston Villa. I'm a Villa boy. I'm captain. I'm still pinching myself, Dion. That's why you see the best of Jack Grealish. He puts himself under no pressure at all.
Well, and that's how it comes across, doesn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, it does. That's the great thing about him.
Yeah. No. And listen, he'll continue to play that way. He won't change, and I think people are attracted by that. Let alone his chilled out nature. He is absolutely outstanding at what he does, and with the new signings that Villa have made, it's given him more freedom to play the way he wants to play.
Let's go back to Ellen Road. Second goal of the evening. Which way, Tom Gale?
The visitors have doubled their lead, Mark. 41 minutes gone. It's Leeds 0, Everton 2. It's all about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He chased the thankless cause into the corner, won his side a corner, swung in, flicks on, diving header at the back post, ends a run of 7 games without a goal. It's Leeds 0, Everton 2.
So over the weekend, Everton were beaten at home by Newcastle. Leeds won at Leicester with a fantastic performance. And now tonight, it's Leeds 0, Everton 2. What a ridiculous game it is at times. Villa West Ham is on 5 Live Sports Extra. Dion talking about Jack Grealish making the game look easy. Here's a man who makes commentating look easy. Ian Dennis.
Oh, that Porters is a compliment.
Wow, hold it a minute. Is that straight to Deno, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think what it is that he's used to you working with John. You're used to being with John Murray of late. He probably thought that. But
does John Murray still work for us? I haven't worked with him for ages.
Dear. I think he's on tomorrow. He's on tomorrow for Tottenham against Chelsea.
Oh, he's picked that one, has he?
Yeah. But thank you for the compliment anyway. It's appreciated. Doesn't happen very often, so I'll take it in whilst it happens. We're about to get underway here at Anfield. Our referee is Kevin Friend from Leicestershire. Should just say in tonight's match programme, and I think it's available online, Jordan Henderson has absolutely nailed the problem on social media. He says, how can people be allowed to commit crimes from a keyboard on a phone or computer and it have no consequence? It's time for those who have the power to intervene. So as Kevin Friend blows his whistle and the players take the knee, now is a time, certainly, to ponder that. And he says, I really hope we start to see meaningful change in the coming weeks, months and years to make this issue one that can be consigned to history. At the very least, we need to move fast to ensure there is accountability. Hear, hear. We're underway. Liverpool all in red, playing from right to left as Liverpool defend the Kop end. As we look down here from the position high up in the main stand against a Brighton side in their royal blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks as well. And ahead of kick-off too, of course, the Liverpool anthem, You'll Never Walk Alone, was played out here at Anfield, and I can give you 32,794,701 reasons why tonight in particular that was particularly poignant. Rest in peace, Captain Sir Tom Moore.
Here.
Brighton clear the long ball with Sanchez, headed away by Phillips, laid back by Thiago, and then played forward by Alexander-Arnold. And Liverpool know, after that result at Turf Moor, there can be no margin for error, because they start this game, Dion, 7 points behind Manchester City. And after this game, Manchester City will still have a game in hand.
Yeah, it's a game that Liverpool will want to put to bed very early. They're on the front foot even in this very early start of the game. They all look very sharp. Jordan Henderson's pointing and waving and making sure the boys are on it. And yeah, it's one of those that they need to get over the line just to get back in touching distance again.
Looking to get back into that winning feeling at Anfield after that surprise setback against Burnley. There's been another goal at Brentford. Katie Shanahan in the Championship.
And Brentford are back on level terms. It's Brentford 1, Bristol City 1. We're approaching the half-hour mark, and it's Tarek Fosu that darted on the right-hand side, crossed it in to Sergi Canos, who was arriving late into the box, 12 yards out, and he buries it into the back of the net as the Spanish forward gets back-to-back goals, as it's one apiece between Brentford and Bristol City.
Here is Milner. He's left of the centre circle on not too bad a night, as the ball is played by forward, and coming right all the way around from the back was Salah, and the flag had stayed down. What a pass that was from Henderson.
Yeah, well, that pass was on about 30 seconds beforehand. Salah made the same run from the right wing in behind, I think it was Byrne. Who was it? It was White, I think, and he just left him there, just seeing his number. And that was the second time he made that run. Second time Henderson hit him perfectly, and he was onside as well. It's a straight ball, diagonal run. That normally works perfectly.
When Jurgen Klopp was talking about Graham Potter, he says he's got a huge respect for him. He likes his approach. He says that Brighton are inventive, they're adventurous. They're difficult to play against and plan against, as Brighton can come forward. And I've seen White play in a number of positions. Ben White, who was linked with a move to Liverpool in the summer, obviously a central defender, but I've seen him play as a holding midfielder, and in fact I think he finished a game recently as a right wing back. We actually thought that he might play and start that position, but because of there's no Veltman, but in fact he is playing at the back. March is the left wing back. Byrne is the left wing back, and Solly March is the right wing back. And Alzati has gone into a central area. But they've got this flexibility at Brighton with a number of positions that they can tweak. As Firmino drops off, plays the ball out towards Salah. That was cleared away by Webster on that far side. But Liverpool win the ball back. And Salah coming forward now, right corner of the penalty area. Up with him is Alexander-Arnold, tries to scoop the ball back towards the Egyptian. And then Brighton to Mopé. Important as well, isn't it, that when it goes to the feet of Mopé, if they are to retain the ball, it sticks with him, Dion.
Yeah, it is, and he won't have that much time either, because he'll definitely have Wijnaldum on his toes. It will be Jordan Henderson as close as possible behind him, or Phillips, one or the two. So yeah, he'll need some support very, very quickly to the left or to the right, because Liverpool will give him no time at all to pick a pass.
Milner's down at the minute. I think he just got one in the thigh, didn't he? Yeah. Whether it was just a little bit of a muscular problem, but he's able to continue. He's still grimacing a little bit down there. Is James Milner? As Liverpool all in red, play from right to left on BBC Radio 5 Live. Back with White to Dunk, heart of that Brighton defence, and then all the way back to Robert Sanchez. the Spanish goalkeeper away towards our left-hand side. He'll hoist the ball forward. Kelleher, of course, is in goal for Liverpool this evening, as Alisson has that illness. March, though, is on the attack for Brighton, coming in from this left-hand side, and he sails the ball right into the midriff of Kelleher. And half-time at Ellen Road, Tom Gale.
Leeds 0, Everton 2, visitors goal. Sigurdsson tap in and a Calvert-Lewin back post header from a corner. Terrible Leeds defending for the first. Their back fours look shaky all half. Bielsa's side have seen plenty of the ball and indeed chances. Alioski volley straight from the corner hit the post. Strauch's header drawing a fine save from Olsen, who's in for the injured Pickford. But at half-time, Leeds 0, Everton 2.
Don't forget Aston Villa West Ham is on Sports Extra. We're bringing you 9 commentaries across the 5 Live network this week. And the next one after this will be Tottenham-Chelsea tomorrow night at 8 o'clock from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Liverpool with Phillips. Just a couple of changes. So once again, Phillips and Henderson are that defensive pairing, the 12th different defensive pairing that Jurgen Klopp has had to utilise this season. Milner floating the ball, looking towards Robertson, who, despite all of their injury problems, Dion, incredibly, has played in every minute of every Premier League game this season.
Yeah, he's that good. He's hard. If he's fit, he's going to play. You know, it's hard to drop a player of that quality, but when you've got your skipper that can drop in there and marshal the defence, and I'm looking down it now that the ball's in the Brighton keeper's hands, and he's just marshalling, get up, do this, do that, and he's just in charge all the time. And I would imagine that Robertson enjoys having him by the side of him.
Half-time in the Women's League Cup semi-final. Bristol City women 0, Leicester City women 0. Chelsea earlier beating West Ham to go through to the final. White midway through the Brighton half rolls it back all the way to Sanchez. No pressure on the goalkeeper, able to clear long downfield, and they were trying to get Byrne away on that left-hand side, but it's seen back to Keller. Underarm throw out to Henderson, strokes it to Robertson on this near side, and Henderson now will find Phillips. Said before that it felt quite mild. The temperature is dropping rather rapidly, it would seem, here at Anfield, as a high ball is hoisted in the direction of Robertson on this near side. He lets it go out of play for a throw, then takes that throw quickly and goes back to Milner. Now with Henderson once more. Milner has stayed out on this near touchline, and he waits. They have such a good record against Brighton at home. Of course, they had such a good record against everybody until recently. 68 games. It was unbeaten at home, but it was ended by Burnley last time out. We'll be pleased that it was Groundhog Day yesterday. Wouldn't want necessarily to can't afford to lose another home defeat against opposition beginning with the letter B, because, as we say, there was no margin for error for Liverpool at the top. On this near side, ball played forward. Robertson to Firmino, lays it back. Wijnaldum out towards that far side. Making that run was Salah, and the back pass to Sanchez. I bet Southampton never wished it was Groundhog Day after losing another 9-0.
Yeah, that wasn't great. The thing about it is, though, with Ralph Hasenhüttl, I do like the way he will allow his team to go to the training ground. He will get them back bouncing yet again. He's a good manager, very good manager.
Well, you'll see how they'll bounce back on Saturday, or at least hear it on one of our commentaries over the weekend from St James's Park, Newcastle United against Southampton from 3 o'clock. The live football continues to come thick and fast on 5 Live. Here we are at Anfield. Thiago central position, forward of the centre circle. Now to Milner, man over in Robertson. Milner tries to slide the ball through. Firmino's made the run, got the touch away from Sanchez, but just runs it out for a goal kick.
Yeah, did well there, Sanchez. He could have quite easily tried to go for that ball, yet when Firmino just went through, just about to receive the ball on the corner of the 6-yard box, going away from goal, and Sanchez made the right decision. Nice little sliding ball from Milner from the edge of the 18-yard line, and Sanchez made the right decision not to dive in. Allowed Firmino to make his own mistake, and it went out for a goal kick.
10 minutes played, 0-0. Earlier we're talking about captain Sir Tom Moore and what an inspiration he was. Talking of those that we've lost, it's hard to believe that 8 years ago today we lost our colleague David Oates, so our thoughts are with Charlotte, Imogen and Kate. Here on from everybody in the football team at BBC Radio 5 Live. 0-0. Milner Out of play it goes for a throw. It'll be a Brighton throw. Been quite a slow start, hasn't it?
It has, but Liverpool just sort of prying at the moment, waiting for Brighton to switch off. They haven't switched off as yet. You know, with Brighton, you never know what you're going to get with Brighton. They can be absolutely outstanding, play you off the park, and then sometimes they don't seem to have the ideas to break the opposing team down. So we'll see what happens tonight. That's
the familiar voice of Dion Dublin here at Anfield as Firmino plays the ball back. Thiago never seems to be under pressure. Played forward by Henderson, little touch inside by Milner. Firmino, though, was swamped by 4 Royal Blue shirts. Comes back to Henderson just outside his own penalty area, and then dropping into a central area was the right back to clear on the edge of his own penalty area. It's put back by Brighton and Hove Albion, and then Henderson to Kelleher, and Kelleher clears, but it'll be Alzate who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. We'll check in at Villa Park with John Akers.
Villa 0, West Ham 0. First real attack for West Ham was Lingard through the middle. A good run, actually. Rode his luck on the run. Put a shot in. It was blocked. Villa have controlled possession, but neither keeper yet to be tested. It's Villa 0, West Ham 0, 11 minutes gone. Let's get an update for Rangers St Johnstone with Roddy Forsyth.
4 minutes to half-time. Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0. Rangers certainly should have been in front. Kemar Roof from a knockdown by Aribo, putting the ball high and wide. He should have actually been off for a stamp on Murray Davidson. The referee didn't see just how bad it was and gave him a yellow card. But at the moment, it's still Rangers 0, St Johnstone 0.
Thank you, Roddy. Still 0-0 here as well for a Brighton side that just hovers outside the relegation zone in terms of a position, but in terms of points, after Fulham's defeat at home to Leicester City, they remain 7 points clear, so they still have that little bit of a buffer as Basuma curls the ball out towards March on this near side as they attack the Kop end here at Anfield. It's a left-footed ball in from the right-hand side, out to the left wing-back Byrne, looking for some support there from Trossard, and they'll get a throw. It's Byrne who'll take it. Alzate playing it back towards Trossard. The clearance from Alexander-Arnold high in the air. Bouncing ball eventually brought under control by Firmino. Out to Shaqiri. Hardly mentioned his name so far in the opening 12.5 minutes. He's got Robertson going on ahead of him midway through the Brighton half, just in from the left touchline. Infield, Firmino able to turn, central position, Thiago, 2 red shirts to his right, one of them is Salah. On the underlap there was Alexander-Arnold. Now the ball's played out towards Alexander-Arnold, first time cross, blocked, comes back to Salah, 30 yards out from goal. Still 0-0, Thiago strokes it back. Every outfield player is in the Brighton half away towards our left-hand side. And as Dion was saying, they're probing Liverpool. But at the minute, just haven't been able to find that bit of penetration.
No, not yet. But Firmino just showing there how important he is to this Liverpool side.
Nice drop of the shoulder by Salah, and he's round the back, and Salah now clips over the cross. Milner is arriving, strikes the body of Shaqiri, and just actually presents it to White for him to make the clearance. Played back though by Alexander-Arnold, and White gets a real good distance on that with his header, and then headed back by Phillips, and eventually it's Thiago who brings the ball under control. But Liverpool, despite probing, are yet to really put sufficient pressure on this Brighton defence.
Yeah, they're organised. They'll get players behind the ball at the moment. They'll go into they're into a 5-3-2. Brighton just backing off towards their own 18-yard line, and nothing's really penetrated them yet.
Thiago comes forward, shifts the ball out towards Milner. Milner with the cross, running at the far post was Mo Salah. Got a good record actually against Brighton and Hove Albion. He's been involved in 9 goals in his 7 Premier League games. He's scored 5, he's assisted 4. But Liverpool in these opening almost quarter of an hour yet to trouble the keeper.
Yeah, they'll do that though, Liverpool. They'll go from left to right, they'll go from Trent Alexander, they'll go all across the middle, all across the defence, and they'll go over to Robertson. They'll try both sides, try and find the weakness, try and find that player that switches off. Brighton very rarely do that when they are on it, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting game this.
Trossard trying to play the ball out towards Byrne, who'd got forward, cut out by the head of Alexander-Arnold. Mopé will chase and he'll harry. Phillips to Kelleher, who was so impressive against Ajax when I saw him here in Anfield earlier in the season in the Champions League. Made a number of fine saves. Here is Trossard in field. Mopé back to Basuma. Nice football from Brighton. Alzate works it out towards Byrne. Early cross in. He was looking towards Mopé. It was cleared by Phillips. He had to make the clearance.
Yeah, he did. He did, actually. Mopé was on his way in, just in behind him. Good clearance out for a throw-in. I think Brighton will look for that. They'll look from the right to the left-hand diagonal. Byrne there, he's pulling on Trent Alexander. That's a bit of a mismatch in the air, so Liverpool will have to be switched on to that switcher play.
Out towards March now for Brighton, who are on the attack 0-0. Scoop forward into the penalty area, headed away by Henderson. White joins the attack. Now in comes the cross, and that was Phillips at his near post, but now the flag is raised. There must have been somebody offside. So it's a free kick instead to Liverpool. It remains 0-0. We've been playing for 16 minutes. Back to Villa Park. John Akers.
Jesse Lingard making his debut for West Ham started really well. It's Villa 0, West Ham 0. We've had 16 minutes. Lingard with the best chance of the game. He made it for himself though. 25 yards out. Hit a dipping shot. Saved by Martinez low down to his left. It's 0-0.
And half-time at Rangers. Roddy Forsyth.
In keeping with the conditions at Ibrox, Rangers making heavy weather of it against St Johnstone. They've had the bulk of the chances, and Kemar Roof has been the biggest sinner, putting 2 good ones past, although Ryan Kent came close to equalling him, as it's half-time scoreless between Rangers and St Johnstone.
Very, very soon Liverpool will lose their crown as World Club Champions, but every game of the FIFA Club World Cup in Doha, which starts tomorrow, you'll be able to watch through the BBC iPlayer, the BBC Sport website, or indeed the red button, with the exception of the first game, just for the red button. Here we are watching the red of Liverpool, and they're doing some defending at the minute because Brighton were coming forward. Phillips will chip the ball up towards Salah, helps it on its way. Just can't get going at the minute, Liverpool.
No, they can't, because Brighton, when they do have the ball, they're using it well. They're not forcing the pass. There was a lovely pass there from the keeper, Sanchez. He missed out about 4 Liverpool players, pinged it to the feet of Alzate out there on the left wing, just behind Byrne on the halfway line, and it just got Brighton up the pitch and missed out 3 or 4 passes. And I think if the keeper can do that, might just catch Liverpool out.
Here is March in field. I've been a bit of a lucky charm for Brighton this season. I've seen them win away at Newcastle, at Aston Villa and at Leeds United, and in fact they've had greater success on their travels. They've picked up 12 of their 21 points when they've been on the road, and of course they come into this game with 3 consecutive clean sheets. So defensively they've got that confidence that they're going to be solid. I mean, it will be a test against Liverpool, but they're certainly rising to the challenge at the minute.
They are. They're not the kind of side that will shy away from a challenge, physically or mentally. They've got some very good players that can play some good football as well.
Wijnaldum coming forward. Strong run by Wijnaldum into the penalty area, cleared away by Dunk. And they're not exactly sitting and parking the bus here either, Brighton. I don't think that's the way that they play under Graham Potter, who's out there moving and waving, gesticulating, as he sees his side give away a free kick for a foul on Shaqiri. We're in the 19th minute. We're yet to have a real serious chance in the game.
No, unnecessary that from Dunk, about 12-15 yards away from the 18-yard line, and out wide on the left-hand side, and it looks like Robertson's going to put this one. In fact, Trent Alexander's just jogging over as well, so the 2 of them will be over this one. Will it be an outswinger or an in-swinger? Well, this could be the first bit of danger for Brighton.
Arms aloft. It is Robertson to take it into the penalty area. It's dealt with well by the header from Webster. Thiago then back out to Robertson. Alexander-Arnold has stayed on this left-hand side as they attack the Anfield Road end. Thiago forward ball. Milner made the run. Dunk comes across, sees the danger, deals with it, and now to Trossard, but quickly under pressure from Thiago, snapping his heels, and Shaqiri unfairly so from Thiago, and that'll be a free kick to Brighton. But for Brighton to have come through these 20 minutes unscathed, Graham Potter will be absolutely delighted. Half-time now at Brentford in the Championship. Katie Shanahan.
A great game this. Brentford 1, Bristol City 1. Zach Vyner's neat finish from a free kick early on put the visitors in front. Then after a handful of excellent chances, Brentford got their equaliser thanks to Sergi Canos, who slotted home from 12 yards out. At the break, it's 1-1.
Basuma just feeling the base of his back. He's been a key player for them. As the free kick is taken, he's okay to continue. It's hit long downfield by Dunk. cleared away by Robertson. Milner in field, goes away from Wijnaldum, but picked up by Thiago. Milner now will spread play out towards the right-hand side, and Alexander-Arnold has got a little bit of room to run into. Salah just drops off away from Byrne. Alexander-Arnold's continued his run. It's a first-time cross into the penalty area, cleared by a stretching Dunk, only as far as Salah. Now moves into a central area. Milner first time across to this left-hand side, 10 yards in from the touchline. Left-hand side is Robertson. Shaqiri level with the penalty area, but still playing in front of Brighton at 0-0 on 5 Live. Forward ball, Wijnaldum drops off, plays it out towards Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold plays it forward along the ground, running out of the penalty area with Salah, back to the England right back, and now he goes in field, and Henderson still as a central defender at the minute for Liverpool, just outside the centre circle. He waits. Robertson standing still. Shaqiri, Brighton just drop off. Robertson plays it forward. The referee's played the advantage, and now when there was no advantage, gives the free kick. Good refereeing from Kevin Friend.
Yeah, and silly from Brighton as well. It was White that was very close to Shaqiri. The ball was just rolled to Shaqiri. He's in the left wing position, just about 5 yards away from the left wing chalk marks, and he just sort of went through the back of Shaqiri for no reason at all. Puts his team under pressure. A good area for Liverpool to put another cross in the box.
So it's going to be another free kick. It's not quite 30 yards out from goal. You've got Alexander-Arnold with the in-swinger, or Robertson with the outswinger, and it is Robertson, and in it goes. But again, the royal blue shirts were back aplenty in far side away towards our left to head the ball away, and then Robertson lost the ball, played up towards Trossard. Henderson is covering, and Henderson will go all the way back to Kelleher, and the Liverpool goalkeeper is out of his penalty area. Yeah. They need a spark, Liverpool.
They do, yeah, he cleaned up there, Jordan Henderson, right in front of his manager. Bit of pace, got in front of Trossard and played it back to his keeper. But as the ball was rolling back to his keeper, he looked over his left shoulder and had a go at Robertson, had a go at Trent Alexander, basically saying, liven up, stop giving the ball away, because we're putting ourselves under unnecessary pressure. Just being a captain, really.
I think, judging by the respect that Klopp has for Brighton under Graham Potter, not too sure he would have. Thiago plays it in, caught there by the goalkeeper. Sanchez would have wanted this team to come here on the back of that defeat to Burnley and ending that long undefeated record, and knowing that they have to get the 3 points. They can't afford to slip up tonight. A goal at Ellen Road. Tom Gale.
A great response to Leeds. It's Leeds 1, Everton 2. It's Rafinha, his 4th of the season. Ball held up in the box by Bamford, laid off to the Brazilian. Side-footed finish into the bottom corner. Leeds 1, Everton 2.
It was a 7:30 start. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 0 is the latest score in the other 8:15. Fulham 0, Leicester City 2 was a result, as Mopé's here in the penalty area. Mopé steadies himself, waits for the opening, gets the shot charged down. It falls then to Byrne, and the flag is eventually raised, and Byrne will be relieved. Not that I think he's looked over as he trudges back, because he completely scooped it over the bar.
Yeah, it was on his wrong foot. It fell lovely for him. He's on the 6-yard box towards the far post. There's only Trent Alexander there. He gets to the ball first and just scoops it over the bar with his wrong foot. He's not as comfortable on his right foot as he is on his left. But initially, the skill from Mopé was, he faked to shoot, and Jordan Henderson bought it, and then Milner bought the other dummy as well. So yeah, great composed centre forward play. But what a chance for Brighton. That's the best chance so far.
It is. And although he would have been relieved to see the flag, he won't be relieved to know that had he put it in, it probably would have stood, because I think Mopé was actually onside. Very, very hard to gauge now with the late flags. You've got to wait for VAR and everything, but it was a chance, and it's 0-0. And as you say, Dion, best chance of the game by far.
Yeah, without a doubt. And if you do have a spare, 3 or 4 days, can you explain the offside rule to me, please?
Still trying to come to terms with some of the decisions last night. Rotherham 1, Derby County 0 is the latest score in the Championship. Here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Match of the day, of course, you can see tonight for yourself on BBC One. 11:15 is the time on BBC One, as the ball is hit by Dunk. Liverpool, who haven't scored in their last 2 home games against Manchester United and Burnley, Have to go back to October 1984 for the last time they failed to score in 3 consecutive matches. So Wijnaldum running forward, still looking for a catalyst for the champions. 25 minutes played, 0-0. Milner to Robertson. He waits, gets the ball back from Shaqiri. Head down, Robertson runs in field. He's midway through the Brighton half. Brighton have been very, very solid. Could be ahead as well had Byrne taken that opportunity. He's yet to score for Brighton. He might not get an easier opportunity than that. As Dion quite rightly says, it was off his weaker right foot. Ball played out then by Milner to Shaqiri back inside. Milner to Robertson. Can't get round the back of them at the minute though, can they?
No, they can't. I mean, with that 5 at the back, they're sort of spread across the whole of the pitch, the width of the pitch. There's not many gaps for the Liverpool players to get into.
Thiago now running forward. He tries to thread it through, but that was stopped by Webster. Cleared to Mopé. Getting into the challenge first with a foot there was Phillips, and just got there. Kevin Friend had the perfect view. Ball picked up now by Henderson. Still goalless on 5 Live. We've been playing for 26 minutes. Leeds United 1, Everton 2. On Sports Extra, Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 0, Fulham 0, Leicester 2 was a result from the 6 o'clock kickoff. And from our first commentary tonight, Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. A 13th win in a row for Pep Guardiola's side, who move to 47 points. This time last year, Liverpool had 61 points, 61 from 63.
Wow.
They were 16 points clear. Now they start this game 7 points behind Manchester City, and with work to do. Thiago to Salah, just got a little bit lost there. Salah, right corner of the area. And then Mopé out towards that far side. Liverpool last year were like a juggernaut. It feels that Manchester City are the team that are going to take some stopping. Liverpool, of course, will try to do that this weekend. You'll hear the big game, of course, on 5 Live. One of 3 games on Sunday. It's a 4:30 kickoff. It's live on 5 Live this weekend. Robertson, Liverpool go back. Who's just hit the woodwork at Villa Park? John Akers.
Villa have Ollie Watkins on the left, cut in on his right foot, struck it with his instep about 15 yards out, curling but not enough. Hit the outside of the goalkeeper's left-hand post, and it's still 0-0 between Villa and West Ham. 27 on the clock.
5 Live final score tonight is available on the BBC iPlayer, the red button, as well as the BBC Sport web site. It's not that cold. Or indeed the app. As Trossard just to wriggle free on this near side, the right, and he's eventually runs the ball out of play, and Robertson will take for a throw. Firmino closed down. Brighton making life very, very difficult for the champions.
Yeah, they do when they're on it. They do work incredibly hard in sort of teams of 3 and 4. If they do get a team or a player or 2 or 3 players of the opposition, they do hunt in packs, and they work really well at it as well. They get forward, they get close to Mopé, they get close to Trossard as well. When they're out of possession, at the moment we've got Byrne and March just dropping in to make it a 5 at the back. So yeah, well organised, well drilled, and Liverpool are finding it hard at the moment to get any clear-cut chances.
Well, Phillips is striding forward now from the heart of Liverpool's defence as they play from right to left, and Firmino's made the run forward, but he was unable to get on the end of it. Thrown out underarm by Sanchez, the Brighton goalkeeper, all in green, away towards our left-hand side, in front of that empty Anfield Road end as Brighton build from the back very, very slowly. You're approaching the half hour. And Gross will play it back. No pressure on that back 3 as Webster now just steps forward and runs away from Salah. Mopé drops back inside his own half, outside the centre circle, still with the ball at his feet. Always very, very comfortable in possession, though, at Brighton and Hove Albion, as the ball now is switched by Gross, headed forward by Byrne. Alzate just trying to roll away from his marker, loses the ball. And now Wijnaldum forward. Firmino turns, plays it back. Henderson at the heart of the Liverpool defence, and then towards Robertson. Robertson just stops about 6 yards short of the halfway line. Back to Henderson. And now towards Thiago. Alexander-Arnold is ahead of him, and here is the England international, but he plays it back to Thiago. Now to Henderson. They just shuffle across the line to Brighton, this well-organised and well-drilled side. in their royal blue shirts and white shorts, and Alexander-Arnold has it once again on that far side. Plays it infield. Thiago now to Milner. Milner has Robertson to his left on the outside, and here he is back inside to Milner. But the pace from the way that Liverpool is very, very slow, it seems.
Yeah, they do look forward. The midfield players of Liverpool are looking forward, and unfortunately, Firmino and Salah and Shaqiri are all in a line, just facing them. They need to be a little bit more staggered, a little bit more movement. Like now, for instance, Shaqiri's gone in the middle of Salah and Firmino, and Milner's just gone in front of Wijnaldum. Just change it up a little bit. Make Brighton think, because at the moment it's very predictable from Liverpool.
It's still 0-0, and we've got about 14 minutes to go to half-time. Thiago turns away from Bissouma, finds a bit of space, now to Shaqiri. Shaqiri runs forward. Here is Salah, first-time shot. That was a good block coming in from Gross, and it actually means that Brighton can break now with Trossard. Trossard will turn, goes to ground easily, but gets the free kick for that challenge from Robertson. It'll be a Brighton free kick. But at the minute, Liverpool are getting no joy whatsoever.
No, they're not. They're getting no answer because they're knocking at the door. They just can't get a present because of the organisation, because of the positions that the Brighton players are taking up. And I think tonight's a test tonight for someone like Jordan Henderson, as good as he is. He's playing against Mopé, who's an out-and-out centre-forward. He holds it up, he makes good centre-forward runs. There's no false nine he's got to mark tonight. It's a proper centre-half's job he's going to have to do tonight to keep Mopé quiet.
Free kick then for Brighton that March stands over. Gross is always there, and it's he who swings over the ball, and then the header from White, who'd got forward just on the edge, just inside the penalty area, was a long looping one over the bar. No threat whatsoever, and it remains goalless with 13 minutes to go to the break on BBC Radio 5 Live. Firmino nicks it inside. Shaqiri never in full control of the ball, but gets it back. Then Firmino is quickly closed down. Brighton are working hard, as were Liverpool. Bissouma caught in possession, but there was Dunk to tidy up for Brighton at the back, out towards Byrne. He can't turn. And now at the minute then Brighton play the ball back and then forward, and here is Bissouma. There's no width at the minute though, because Byrne was just reluctant to get forward on that occasion, but they keep the ball so well.
Yeah, but there's no panic at all. They were under severe pressure there in the middle of the park. Bissouma, Alzate and Byrne all under pressure, getting squeezed, but they didn't rush their play. Again, being really brave on the ball there, Gross allowing Milner to get close and being happy with the contact that Milner's going to give him. He fouls him on this occasion and they get a free kick. They're brave players, these Brighton players.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've been playing now for 33 minutes. I can't recall a Liverpool chance in this game.
No, there hasn't been well, there's been the half chance from Byrne, which was offside, but yeah, not yet.
And here he is. Byrne plays it back to Trossard. Game has been devoid of goal-mouth activity, with half-time coming into sight. Trossard able to turn. Square ball, fraction behind Gross, but he's still got it. Gross has Mopé up with him. Gross then plays it out towards March into the penalty area. March with a curling effort, and it goes over the top and out for a goal kick. But it's Brighton at the minute who are creating the better opportunities. Let's go back to Ellen Road. Leeds against Everton. Tom Gale.
Where with 58 minutes played, Ian, Leeds 1, Everton 2. The home side have got their tails up. They got that goal within the first 2 minutes of the restart in the second half, and they've really been up the other end. Chances galore, but it's actually Everton looking equally threatening on the counter-attack, where it's Leeds 1, Everton 2.
Any sign of a goal at Villa Park? John Akers.
Yes, maybe now actually. Ben Rama to the byline for West Ham, pulls it back. Souček puts it wide. Right foot curler, head in hand. Barkley's just put one wide for Villa at the other end. A half volley, left-footed. Maybe think he should have done better. Lingard's had a free kick against the wall for West Ham, but it's still Villa 0, West Ham 0.
And commentary of that one continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. Here we are on 5 Live. 10 minutes to go to half-time. It's still 0-0. By the way, after 5 Live Sport tonight, Colin Murray is talking about TV sports commentary, because it's the 83rd anniversary of the first TV sports commentary. So among his guests, the great Barry Davies. Just look at his face. Steve Bunce, John Hunt, and even Conor McNamara making an appearance with Colin, amongst others. That's 10:30 on BBC Radio 5 Live tonight. If you were to look at your face at the minute, it would be a poker face, because not a great deal's happened.
No, there hasn't, and you have to tip your hat to Brighton. Brave football, organised, trying to play the game in the right way. Liverpool have had, I would imagine, the lion's share of the ball, but haven't really done anything with it. They're playing a little bit too slow for me, Liverpool. There's got to be more 1 and 2 touch play, triangles, getting in behind.
It's interesting, very interesting, but only in the sense, not in terms of excitement, but in sense of the fact that Liverpool cannot afford to slip up here tonight. So that's where the intrigue comes. And also for a Brighton side who've created the 2 best opportunities of the first half. And for a Brighton team who have only had 1 victory here, 1982, a long time ago. I think I was about 3 at the time. They are
sorry, I had to laugh out loud.
They're more than holding their own.
Oh yes, they are. First corner for Liverpool.
First corner for Liverpool, taken short on the left-hand side. Robertson back towards Shaqiri. Now Thiago, who curls it in and curls all the way through and out for a goal kick.
The quality's there from both sides, and from what I've seen so far, both sides could quite easily win this game. When they're in possession, they're taking their time. They're not rushing it. They're not forcing it at all. They seem to be picking the right pass. On that occasion, Thiago just overhit his cross, in-swinging cross. But yeah, you know, it's Anfield and Liverpool are playing Brighton, but it's a very even game.
It is. And I think Graham Potter would probably argue that, you know, that chance that for Burn, I mean, you'd be able to see it for yourself tonight. I think it would have stood. But it's irrelevant anyway, because he put it over the bar. But 0-0 it remains. Let's go back to Ellen Road. Tom Gale.
62 minutes gone, Ian. Leeds 1, Everton 2, but Leeds are swarming all over the Everton goal. Robin Olsen in for the injured Jordan Pickford. He's made a triple save, pick of the bunch, a half volley from Jack Harrison, edge of the box. Excellent save by the Swede. Somehow it's still Leeds 1, Everton 2.
That was a 7:30 kickoff. We've got 8 minutes to go to half-time here on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're with you through until 10:30 tonight. Alzate, ball played then forward by Byrne, looking for the run of Mopé. 1 bounce and it's through towards Kelleher, but again the flag was a late one on this near side. It wouldn't have counted anyway.
And it's just one of those runs again that, you know, Mopé he'll make those runs. He ran towards Byrne on the left-hand side, then he ran in behind the 2 centre-halves of Liverpool, always on the move. Byrne just overhitting the pass on that occasion, but if they do switch off at all, Liverpool at the back, that Brighton will find a way of getting chances, creating chances.
Liverpool are certainly having to be patient as Milner is forward over the halfway line, back from Thiago. Patient, but you'd say that at the minute they've been predictable. In these 38 minutes that we've witnessed so far, Thiago with Alzate in front of him, then towards Williams. Alexander-Arnold waits, and back once more to Phillips, taking their time. Henderson, Robertson's made the run infield. Shaqiri's now come out to this left-hand side. A little bit of an interchange there as Thiago strokes it out towards that far side, the right. Played forward, then the return from Salah to Alexander-Arnold. Now Wijnaldum links up with the play. Salah's come in field, central area now to Thiago, but they're still in front of those Brighton players. And it's very, very congested as they try to go through. And Thiago gets it back, but there's no piercing this Brighton defence at the minute. Alexander-Arnold with the ball in, well controlled by Firmino, plays it back. And there is Byrne in front of Alexander-Arnold. And to credit Brighton Hove Albion, they will not pass, as there's been a goal. Rangers St Johnstone ready for side.
And it's finally Rangers after a procession of missed chances. Yanis Hadji, who'd come into the team tonight, running right across the margin of the penalty area, and then a very precise low left foot drive just inside the post. 51 minutes gone. Rangers the lead at last from their point of view. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
And that would take their advantage to 23 points ahead of Celtic, albeit Celtic will have 2 games in hand. Corner kick to Liverpool, far side the right, headed away comfortably by Alzate, 8 yards out headed back by Thiago out towards that right-hand side for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who now finds Salah with his back to goal, right corner of the area. Thiago chips the ball across towards Robertson, controls it first time left-footed, ball played forward area. Phillips went down to his knees. Salah, it'll be a corner kick to Liverpool. He was battling away for Alzate over on that far side, and the last touch came off the Colombian.
They'll continue to force Liverpool to try and go through the middle or cross it. That's where the strength of Brighton is.
In comes the cross from the right, picked up by Sanchez. There's been another goal in the Championship at Brentford. Katie Shanahan.
And Brentford go into the lead. It's Brentford 2, Bristol City 1. It was Tariq Fosu once again with a cross goal, and then it was, guess who? Ivan Toney, the Championship's top goal scorer, gets another to make it 20 for the season as he slots home from close range. Brentford 2, Bristol City 1.
They've come from behind. They're looking for a 5th straight win at home in the Championship, are Brentford, and indeed if they were to win they would go second, 4 points behind the leaders Norwich City, and for Bristol City it would be a 6th straight defeat away from Ashton Gate, which would be a setback to their playoff aspirations, because they could have moved within the fringes of the playoff picture. 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. I noticed that Jurgen Klopp, Dion, is just having a word with Jordan Henderson, taking advantage of that stoppage in play. It's a Liverpool throw-in on this near side, which I presume they'll eventually give back to Brighton. But he's just trying to make those tweaks to Liverpool, even in these closing stages now, the first half at 0-0.
He'll want to just see a little bit more of a spark, to be honest with you. They've been a little bit flat. And he needs to see a little bit more of Shaqiri, a little bit more of Salah, a little bit more of Firmino making things happen for them in that final third. He's not getting it at the moment. Both sides are solid, looking good, defensively organised. And I do like the way that Brighton, when Liverpool have the ball, they have Burn dropping in, March dropping in, and White and Webster get very close to dunk, so there's no space for that intricate football that Liverpool like to play.
Well, Burns just got close to Phillips. In fact, he got so close he gave him a jolt as he jumped into him and conceded a free kick. But here is now Basuma, whose play is back underway. His forward ball intercepted by Milner. Firmino, Thiago looking to turn. Forward ball now to Firmino, and he finds him in space. Forward ball, but there was March, and it was Milner he was looking for. But the blue shirts were back aplenty. Not the best clearance by Sanchez. Liverpool couldn't take advantage, and March now towards White, who's playing on the right-hand side of that three-man defence to head the ball away. And there was a little tug there of the shirt of Wijnaldum by Gross. Liverpool go all the way back to Kelleher, cleared away by Alexander-Arnold. And Liverpool, well, the pace that Liverpool are playing, you'd think, if you just come into the stadium now, that they were leading the game by, I don't know, a goal or 2 goals to nil. Not that it's still 0-0.
I just think you have to tip your hat to Brighton, because they're forcing Liverpool to play a certain way, and Liverpool don't want to play that way. Liverpool want it their own way in the middle of the park, play the beautiful game. They're trying to, but Brighton are working really hard. Basuma's done great, Alzate's done great in there as well, and Gross. And the 3 of those players I've just mentioned, they get very close to Mopé very quickly as well, and it's good to see that they're not frightened of Liverpool's speed on the break either. So no, it's a good game. It is intriguing. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
It's a very intriguing game, this.
Yeah, and without doubt there is a real level of respect that Liverpool are giving towards Brighton and Hove Albion, as we're about to enter the last 60 seconds of this first half on 5 Live at 0-0. Here is Gross, Mopé ahead of him, and Phillips actually did well just to block the run of Mopé out towards Salah. Salah couldn't control the ball. Out it goes for a Brighton throw.
Yeah, that's that little run as well. Mopé this time on Phillips, choosing to go across Phillips and trying to get in behind Henderson. Gross seen the run, just this time couldn't execute the pass because Henderson read it, but he'll keep doing it. They have to stay alive.
They certainly do. We'll find out how much added on time there is in this first half very, very soon, as there was a challenge there from Wijnaldum that means that Mopé has gone down, and in fact Wijnaldum's just been shown the yellow card.
I don't think there was any malice in that at all. I think he just mistimed it. It was one of those where I think it was Maupay moved the ball from left foot to right foot very quickly, and Wijnaldum went to try and get the ball on his left foot, but he moved it so quickly. So it studs on top of the foot. It was a free kick. It was a yellow card, but no malice at all in that.
1 minute of added on time, which we're now into here at Anfield on BBC Radio 5 Live. Liverpool 0, Brighton 0. March on this near side. March looking to turn, slipped by Shaqiri. March, though, still is yet to deliver the ball. Plays it back. Gross swings the ball in. Aimed towards Maupay's headed the ball over. Goal kick.
Gets in great positions, doesn't he? Even though he's not the tallest. Maupay gets in between defenders. It'll be interesting to see what happens at half-time, how both of these teams come out. Any changes? Is anybody going to be the first? Any manager going to show his hand? Are they going to be negative? Are they going to be positive? Because somebody will have to do something in order to break the deadlock on the second half if it stays like this.
Well, Graham Potter will be delighted, won't he?
Absolutely.
Not only with the scoreline, but also the performance.
But without doubt, because, you know, they're in the game. At the moment, you know, if you didn't know who these teams were, you wouldn't know who was who.
There is the half-time whistle, and Liverpool 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0 is the scoreline here at Anfield, and the best chances, without a shadow of a doubt, have fallen to Brighton. Although the flag was raised, I think Maupay was actually onside when the ball eventually fell to Byrne, who blazed it over from close range, and March has had one over the top of his left foot inside the penalty area. Liverpool have struggled to create openings. Dion Dublin.
I'm surprised, actually, because I wanted to see Liverpool a little bit more potent in the final third. Salah's made some great runs. Firmino's been very steady and pretty to watch. Shaqiri's drifted in and out of the game, so I think they're the three players that need to possibly do more in the second half for Liverpool to create more chances. But this game is 50-50 at the moment for me. I couldn't call it.
And there is work for the champions to do. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0.
Straight to Ellen Road, Tom Gale.
72 minutes gone. Somehow it's still Leeds 1, Everton 2. The home side will be kicking themselves if they can't get something out of this one, Mark. Patrick Bamford, he's come in his closest effort. Cross swung in, a looping header, just tips the top of the bar. And interesting, the pitch is starting to really cut up. It's been relayed, so this is the first time Leeds have played on this surface, and all the players across both sides are constantly slipping over. We're up for an interesting finale here with 72 minutes played. It's still Leeds 1, Everton 2.
Half-time at Villa Park, John Akers.
Villa 0, West Ham 0. Villa with the best chance of the game. Watkins with a curler on his right foot, just shaved the outside of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. He's also had a header over the bar. Barkley's had a good chance, a left foot half volley wide. But West Ham have forced 5 saves out of Emi Martinez as well. None of them may be as clear-cut as the chances that Watkins and Barkley had, but Lingard's looked quite impressive on his West Ham debut. He's had a shot from 25 yards saved, and probably so foul near the end with a right foot first-time effort, 20 yards. Struck it sweetly, but it was straight down the goalkeeper's throat. It's probably West Ham's best chance, but Villa 0, West Ham 0 at half-time.
Rotherham scored 3 goals in the last 15 minutes in their championship game with Derby to win 3-0. Just approaching the hour mark at Brentford, and they lead Bristol City by 2-1 earlier in the Scottish Premiership. Finished Hamilton 1, Ross County 2. Motherwell 2, Dundee United 1. About half an hour to go at Ibrox, where Rangers lead St Johnstone by 1-0. They're also around the hour mark in the Scottish Championship. Arbroath 1, Inverness 1, Dunfermline 2. Wraith 0. And in the Continental Cup semi-finals, earlier Chelsea's women thrashed West Ham women 6-0, and Bristol City's women have just taken the lead against Leicester City's women, so it's 1-0 there, and there's about 15 minutes to go. You're up to date with all the football scores on 5 Live. You'll hear from Pep Guardiola and Scott Parker before we return to Anfield. But at 4 minutes past 9, Suzanne Courtney has the latest news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Boris Johnson has thanked health workers after the government confirmed that more than 10 million people across the UK had received their first dose of a coronavirus vaccine. But speaking at this evening's Downing Street News conference, he warned that infections remained alarmingly high and that the NHS was still under huge pressure. The latest figures show 19,202 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded across the UK. That's an increase of around 2,500 cases on yesterday, but down over 6,000 from last Wednesday. A further 1,322 people have sadly died within 28 days of testing positive, more than 100 fewer than yesterday. Spectators watching this summer's Olympics in Tokyo won't be allowed to chant or sing, only to clap. And athletes are to be tested for coronavirus every 4 days. These are just some of the rules detailed in the first version of a playbook published by organisers, while athletes continue to face a difficult wait to see if the Games will actually go ahead. And people up and down the country have been clapping in celebration of the life of Captain Sir Tom Moore, who died yesterday, as well as for healthcare workers. Earlier, the House of Commons fell silent in tribute to Sir Tom.
The voice of sport. Coming up this February on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra. Six Nations Rugby is back.
And he finds Henry Slade, who's up to the line and scores. Another try for England.
Tennis, the Australian Open.
Oh, the 1-2 punch, perfect. Easy for Sophia Kenin.
Super Bowl 55 in Florida.
Does it towards the end zone. He's got a man touchdown.
And the live football continues with the return of the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup.
Bruno Fernandes scores! He slides away on his knees!
February on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
So we'll hear from Pep Guardiola and Scott Parker shortly. Let's go back to Tom Gale at Leeds.
76 minutes gone, Mark. Leeds 1, Everton 2, and this one's really heating up. Tensions rising on the pitch, particularly between Patrick Bamford and Yerry Mina. Those two have gone head-to-head all game. It's been a fascinating watch. Everton took the lead on 9 minutes. The simplest of tap-ins from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Terrible defending by Leeds, it has to be said. And it has to be said on the counter, because it's been all Leeds, but Everton, they double their advantage just before half-time. Dominic Calvert-Lewin ending a 7-game run without a goal, back post header. So it was 2-0 at half-time, but then within 2 minutes of the restart, Rafinha with a lovely side foot finish into the bottom corner. And honestly, it's been one-way traffic ever since. Bamford, Harrison, all drawing saves from Olsen, who's in for the injured Jordan Pickford. He injured his ribs against Newcastle. But with 77 minutes played, it's still Leeds 1, Everton 2.
Dunfermline have just got a second against Wraith in the Scottish Championship. They lead 2-1. It would take Dunfermline above Wraith into second, 9 points behind leaders Hearts. Back to the Championship, Brentford, Bristol City, Katie Shanahan.
Where Brentford are still in front. It's Brentford 2, Bristol City 1, half an hour to go. Well, the visitors came out firing after the break, but it's Brentford that really have the edge now. They've got the majority of possession, the better of the chance, and I've got to say it was a great goal from Ivan Toney to put them in front moments ago after coming from behind early on. And what an investment he's been, Chappers. He's had big shoes to fill, but he's making things look easy. Back-to-back goals after scoring that hat-trick against Wycombe, the first for Brentford, putting him to now 20 for the season with his goal just going in moments ago. And as things stand, Brentford have moved up to second in the Championship table, as right now it's Brentford 2, Bristol City 1.
To the Scottish Premiership leaders, Roddy Forsyth.
Yeah, we're midway through the second half. At Ibrox, it's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. Rangers had to wait to get their lead. It was 51st minute that Yanis Hadji, probably fed up with watching his teammates waste opportunities, decided to do it all himself. He ran along the edge of the St Johnstone box and then swiveled a perfect 90-degree turn and shot with his left foot, putting the ball low inside Clark's left-hand post. Before that, there had been a procession of misses, mainly the fault of Kemar Roof, who swiped a couple wide dead in front of goal and headed one even further off the mark. He shouldn't actually have been on the pitch because he had an ugly studs-up challenge on Murray Davidson, which the referee construed as a yellow card offence. Davidson actually leaving the pitch, limping off the pitch shortly afterwards. And as I say, Roof surprisingly being left on. He's not on the pitch anymore. He's just been replaced by Cedric Eaton as Rangers try to consolidate. They've had all the pressure, but only one goal to show for it. Midway through the second half, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling got the goals as Manchester City won 2-0 at Turf Moor against Burnley. It takes them 3 points clear at the top, and they have a game in hand. Afterwards, Pep Guardiola spoke with Rob Schofield.
A 13th win in a row in all competitions. That's some run. What were your takeaways from tonight?
The last days, many times, I'm not talking about the run, I'm talking about the game, to play. We played, and the consequence is the good performance again. We didn't concede, and we create chances to score more goals.
How pleased were you with how your players found space tonight? Because Burnley themselves didn't actually offer that much, but you still found so much space.
Not easy. They were high, they were tight. The space was not much. We're training for this, to find, the smaller spaces, to attack them, and yeah, we found them.
Again, kind of sharing the goals around. That Gabriel Jesus early goal, how much more do you want to see him in those kind of areas, the inside 6-yard box?
It's important to score a goal in the first minute, we cannot deny it. And that's why we're continuing to focus, and we struggle a little bit to break the first line. But once we got it, we did it well.
And a word on Aymeric Laporte kind of playing a left-back, left-centre-back role tonight. Is that something that you maybe see him fulfilling going forward? Because, again, it changed the dynamic and the shape of the team.
Yeah, he can play there. He was brilliant, and with the ball, without the ball. So everyone was a high level.
Can I just also ask what you feel like it says about your team that they can perform at this incredibly high level without such huge players like Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero?
But we're looking forward to see them back. We need everyone. We cannot survive with just 11, 12 players.
Pep Guardiola with Rob Schofield. Another goal at Brentford. Katie.
Brentford 3, Bristol City 1. Saman Ghoddos hit the bar, came back out to him in the 6-yard box. He had a second crack and blasted it home to get his third goal in 6 games, and topping off a good couple of weeks after signing a permanent deal with the club. So Brentford are currently second in the Championship table as they lead here by 3-1.
Thank you, Katie. Fulham 0, Leicester 2 is how it finished at Craven Cottage. Fulham lying 8 points from safety after that defeat. Here's Scott Parker.
I'm not overly disappointed in the performance. I'm disappointed in certain elements. Am I surprised in the certain elements what we've fallen short on? No. We're a team that have come out of the Championship playing against a team that are, I don't know where they were. Maybe you could, what, they're third now, second in the league? Yeah. Third in the Premier League with an array of talent what they've got. And in games like this, you're going to fall a little bit short when you're us. And, that's exactly what's happened. Tosin, I remember Tosin's header at 1-0. Big opportunity for us, keeper saves it, and then within 30 seconds the breakaway is the quality which you see, really. So that's exactly where it is, really.
You go again on Saturday, so how big a job is it for you now? It's 11 games without a win, to go into that dressing room and just try and keep everybody believing?
Well, it ain't a big job for me, of course. It's a big job in terms of trying to give over a part of me which understands what needs to happen for us to get out of this situation. I've been involved in 2 relegations, and the situation we are in is factual. We are 7 points adrift. We sit where we do in this league table, and we have a real challenge and a real battle on our hands. And when you have a battle and a challenge, and while there is still light, which we have 17 games, I'm going to fight, I'm going to work the team, and I want to give that message over to them that we have a game against West Ham now, which we can win.
John Southall put in the questions to Scott Parker. Brendan Rodgers said afterwards, by the way, that Jamie Vardy and Wilfred Ndidi will both be fit to return at the weekend. Back to Ellen Road. 5-6 minutes left, Tom.
83 minutes played, Mark. Leeds 1, Everton 2. Carlo Ancelotti trying to shore things up. He's brought on Michael Keane, but talk about spitting the dummy out. Richarlison is the one who has made way. As soon as his number went up, the arms were up, gesturing in the air, spinning around. 2 Leeds players literally had to force him on his way, but it has still been relentless from Marcelo Bielsa's side. They're coming forward. Tyler Roberts has just won a free kick just to the left of the penalty area, so it's going to be another set-piece opportunity to try and salvage something from this. But with 84 minutes played, Leeds 1, Everton 2.
So have Everton just got deeper and deeper as the half has progressed?
No, they still have tried to play on the counter, and that's the thing. It's one of those, and on paper you could argue it's a bit of a smashing and grab, but they have looked awfully threatening on the counter-attack. But it has, Leeds have just really upped the tempo. It's just been relentless, back and forth. Bamford's at the top of the bar. Harrison's drawn some great saves from Olsen as well. And like I say, they've just got this set-piece opportunity, which Phillips will whip in, right-footed to the back post. It's headed clear by Mina, back out to Rafinha. No, looks as though they're going to have to build this one. Actually, as we speak, it's going to be Decore breaking onto you. You'll have to come back to me shortly, Mark. It's still Leeds 1, Everton 2.
All right, thank you, Tom. Rangers dominant by the looks of it at Ibrox this evening against St Johnstone. 72% possession, but just the one goal, Roddy.
Yes, indeed, and that came from Yanis Hadji, and it took him into the second half before Rangers could make that breakthrough. Hadji deciding he would do it on his own rather than link up with colleagues who'd been profligate before that, particularly Kemar Roofe, who had missed a procession of chances. He had come in for Alfredo Morelos, suspended for a stamping offence at Hibs, and Roofe had a stamping offence of his own, studs up against Murray Davidson. Referee gave him a yellow card. That preserved him on the field, and Davidson, though, had to limp off shortly afterwards. And just a few moments ago, Craig Bryson for St Johnstone came very close, and it took an excellent save by McGregor to stop him equalising. At the moment, though, it's Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, and we're heading for the final quarter hour.
And we'll head back to Katie Shanahan at Brentford, where if they if they win this, they're 3-1 up, Katie. They'll go within 4 of Norwich in second, and they've got a game in hand.
Exactly, and they've actually managed to turn this around as they went a goal down to Bristol City early on, and they've just come out firing and shown real character ever since. So 20 minutes to go. Brentford are now in control. Brentford 3, Bristol City 1. Sergi Canos has actually just had another good chance, drilled down the throat of goal and into the hands of Daniel Bentley, who has been brilliant for Bristol City today. But Brentford are, remember, 18 league games unbeaten, so unbeaten in the league since October, and they're really showing their class today, as it's Brentford 3, Bristol City 1.
Producer tonight's an Aston Villa fan, so John Akers is very keen that I get news of a Villa substitution out before I go back to Anfield.
He will not leave me alone, Rory. It's just in my ear the whole time. They are going to make a change. He's just said they're making a change, Villa. I've said, I know, he's standing in front of me, Traoré. Bertrand Traoré is coming on. El Ghazi will go off. 0-0. 2 very evenly matched teams. Loads of chances in the first half. Let's see what the second's got in store. Villa 0, West Ham 0.
And the obsession with Villa means we've missed the kick-off at Anfield, Ian Dennis.
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to throw...
Honestly, I'm more than happy to take the blame most of the time. But
yes, we're underway. Neither side has made a change. Liverpool 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Liverpool all in red, attacking the Kop end, playing from left to right as we look against the Brighton side in their royal blue shirts and white shorts. And Basuma playing the ball out towards that far side, and it's hit by March and then headed back by Phillips. So I'll run through the two teams. Quavin Kelleher is in goal. Alisson has an illness, so he's not able to take part tonight. Firmino was the other change from the side that beat West Ham for Origi. The back four for Liverpool: Alexander-Arnold, Phillips, Henderson and Robertson. Midfield 3 of Milner, Thiago and Wijnaldum, Salah, Firmino and Shaqiri. And then for Brighton, they have Sanchez in goal, a back 3 of Webster, Dunk and White. Byrne is the left wing back, March is the right wing back, Gross, Basuma, Trossard and Alzate behind Neil Maupay. And for anybody who's just joined BBC Radio 5 Live, Brighton well worth the point that they're currently earning, Dion. That might even be more had they taken their chances.
Yeah, and you know, I just feel that it's the form they're in at the moment. Brighton just turned the page and looking better and playing some really good stuff, and that's the way Graham Potter wants them to be. Respect everybody but fear nobody.
Liverpool were lacklustre in that first half, and the ball has a free kick has been given to Brighton. Basuma at the minute has just got himself back to his feet in a central position, but not a shot on target really for Liverpool. Sanchez very, very well protected by this Brighton side as Webster plays the ball up towards Maupay, comes under pressure, and now Milner, and he finds Salah, and Salah now out towards Firmino plays it out, Robertson pulls it in, aimed towards Salah, still Firmino trying to get there, gets the shot away, block again was a good one by Dunk. They have defended so well, have Brighton when they've needed to. Here is Milner on the edge of the area. He's played the ball back to Thiago. Thiago floats it forward. Alexander-Arnold looked to get round the back. Already, I would say, in the opening 2 or 3 minutes, there appears to be a greater purpose about Liverpool than we witnessed in that first half, as they've won the ball back, but again the referee's blown his whistle. Free kick to Brighton, but there seems to be an extra zip with the way the passing, Dion.
Yeah, and just a sharpness in out of possession trying to get the ball back. There's been a couple of times when Brighton have tried to play out and Basuma's been caught, and I think it was Alzate that was caught just then. The referee gives a free kick. I don't think it was a free kick, but you can just see a little bit of sharpness back in the Liverpool ranks. Firmino's looking at a replay there. Firmino, nice little chop onto his left foot. Got his shot off, but again, Brighton just putting their bodies on the line.
Well, they've only had 4 victories in 32 games in all competitions against Liverpool. There's never been a goalless draw at Anfield. The only goalless draw between these two sides has happened just once, as Basuma scuffed his shot, and Liverpool haven't properly dealt with that. Brighton have got it back through with Webster, now back with Basuma once more, scoops it into the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold puts off Trossard. The only goalless draw was at Brighton in September 1961. At the minute, though, we are yet to have a goal. We're 4 minutes into the second half and they're nearing full time at Ellen Road. Tom Gale.
Where we have a minimum of 5 to be added on, Ian. It's Leeds 1, Everton 2. The visitors clinging on to what would be a huge 3 points for them. Holgate's been booked for literally a rugby tackle on Rafinha, and Olsen's found his way into the book for time wasting from a goal kick. First appearance for Josh King as a late substitute in an Everton shirt, but it's Leeds 1, Everton 2.
Signing on deadline day, of course, from Bournemouth. Basuma's gone down. Didn't look good the way that his legs just gave way, it seemed, and the ball has been rolled out of play. That's always a worry, Dion.
It is, yeah. No contact at all from any Liverpool player at all. He had the ball on his right foot, but he sort of dropped his left shoulder, put all his weight on his left boot and tried to play it with his right, but his left foot and his studs gave way underneath him, therefore splitting his legs, and maybe a groin injury, maybe just a tweak. Still on the floor, he's on one knee at the moment. Just they can take your breath away when you spread the groin area. It can really take your breath away. You ever done that, Dana?
Listen, every time I go to the floor, it takes the breath away from me. Basuma, thankfully, is back to his feet, and the physio wasn't even required. It looked worse than it probably was for Basuma.
They do, though, don't they? They do. When you see a player go down and there's no contact, you do, you fear the worst.
And Sanchez clears long, and it's 0-0, and Brighton have got a throw on this near side to left, playing from right to left. Ball lifted over the head of Alzate, straight towards Shaqiri, but he did get a foot into the tool. That was inexplicably given away by Webster to Firmino, to Shaqiri now, midway through the Brighton half. Alzate's sliding challenge, kept alive by Milner on the right, checks back onto his left foot, plays it forward then off the right, short and forward towards Shaqiri. Back then it goes all the way to Henderson, rears up onto his chest inside the centre circle on this cold but dry night on Merseyside. Drilled in low first time by Robertson. Blocked, he retrieves it himself, keeps it in play on that far side. Back towards Thiago, who goes infield. Alexander-Arnold, every blue shirt back behind the ball. Well organised, well disciplined. Alexander-Arnold plays it in low, cleared, only partially. Salah's won it back. Salah, he looked like he was going to go to ground there. There might have been a small little pull of the arm of the Egyptian. Brighton have lost the ball. Liverpool now are certainly looking to try and up the ante. Alexander-Arnold, little touch from Wijnaldum. Brighton defending deep at the minute, being forced back by Liverpool. 7 minutes into the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live, and we're still goalless. There's been a goal now at Villa Park. Oh, hold on, Alexander-Arnold stooping. Firmino, it'll be picked up by Sanchez. Goal at Villa Park, John Akers.
And it's gone for West Ham United, and it's that man again. Souček with the finish, right foot on the angle, first time, lovely strike, past Martinez, low to his right. It really is a good finish. Antonio into Benrahma, and then a lovely finish across the keeper, and West Ham lead by 1-0 at Villa Park.
A reminder, that's on Sports Extra as well. Here Liverpool are attacking. Here is Firmino with the shot, and he's got a deflection. It goes behind for a corner kick off his low effort. Corner kick to Liverpool, 0-0.
Yeah, they've come out looking very, very good. Salah's looking sharp. Shaqiri's now getting a little bit more of the ball, and you can see Milner and Henderson, the leaders on the pitch, making sure they stay at this level and this intensity.
Corner comes in from that far side. Webster did well, climbing. Heads the ball away. Picked up by Thiago. Rolls it out towards that far side, the left. Here is Wijnaldum. Basuma snaps into the challenge and gets the ball towards Mopé, but in fact he's adjudged to have been fouled there as Mopé by Wijnaldum, and it's a free kick to Brighton, which they've taken quickly. Still 0-0. They haven't come here for the point tonight, Graham Potter's side, and they're getting forward again over on that far side. White joining the attack. March will play the ball back to White, crosses first time, and it's adjudged to have gone out of play. It'll be a goal kick to Liverpool. Dion.
Yeah, that's how important Basuma is to Brighton. Wijnaldum 10 yards on the edge of Brighton's box. He thinks he's got all the time in the world, and Basuma's at his heels, at his Achilles there, and he just nicked it off his toe and pokes it through to his centre forward. Nothing comes of it, but it's just how they're playing tonight. Liverpool are not comfortable playing against Brighton. They have come out in the second half looking very sharp, Liverpool, but Brighton are not intimidated at all.
No, they're not. And it's 0-0, 9 minutes into the second half. Full time at Ellen Road. Tom Gale.
Full time, Ian. Leeds 1, Everton 2. The visitors hang on for just the second top flight win in the last 38 visits to Ellen Road, and the first time they've won 4 straight away league games in 35 years. Leeds arguably deserve more, just the consolation Rafinha goal in the second half. Everton went in at the interval through goals from Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin. Olsen by far the busier keeper. Not far off an Everton smash and grab, but Carlo Ancelotti will not care. Full time, Leeds 1, Everton 2.
And as a result, Everton go 5th in the Premier League table. 0-0 here on the other side of Stanley Park at Anfield, but it's Brighton who are on the attack, and it's Gross running forward midway through the Liverpool half, out towards that far side. Solly March curls it left-footed. Byrne with the header, back into the danger area, comes off Truss, comes off Alzate, and Brighton have scored. Brighton have scored here at Anfield. A scruffy goal, but Alzate will not care about that, because that's his first goal in the Premier League to stun the champions Liverpool, and Brighton are ahead 1-0.
That is a very, very well worked goal. That comes back from Dan Byrne in front of the dugouts. He was right in front of Jurgen Klopp, and he pinged a lovely ball into the centre of the pitch, into Gross's feet. Gross did this lovely little flick into Trossard. Trossard puts it out wide right. What they do is they put a lovely ball into the far post. Dan Byrne doesn't admire his pass, gets into the box, and there's always going to be a mismatch down the left-hand side for Brighton. Trent Alexander, no chance, and he just heads it into an area, Dan Byrne, and there's 3 or 4 Brighton players attacking it. So positive. That goal hasn't surprised me at all, that Brighton have got it first.
Trossard was in there, but the telling touch came off Alzate, and well, he scored his first goal in the Premier League. He only recently scored his first goal for Brighton against Blackpool in the FA Cup. And here, Brighton are leading by a goal to 0. And if Liverpool had work to do at half-time, because a draw's not good enough for Liverpool, you wouldn't have thought, in the current form of Manchester City. So, Liverpool, who haven't scored in their last 2 home games, stuttering here at Anfield, and that's just raised the ante, Dion.
Yeah, it has. They have forced the issue now. Liverpool have to do something positive. It'll have to be a forward-thinking player if there's a change to be made, so let's just wait and see. But Brighton have said, well, you know, like you've said, Deno, we're not just coming here to make the numbers up. We think we can win this game. Here is Salah looking to turn. Dealt with, though, by Dunk. Liverpool try and win it back. That was a foul, Thiago, on Mopé, who's trying to hit it quickly and out towards that far side to Solly March. There's been another goal at Villa Park, John Akers.
And it's another for West Ham. Villa 0, West Ham 2, and on his debut, it's Jesse Lingard with the goal. Left foot, half volley, lovely breakaway move. They were 3-on-1 at one point. He took it down on his chest, fired across Martinez, who got a good hand to it. Will be disappointed he didn't keep it out. It's Villa 0, West Ham 2. We've got 34 to go.
Every away side has either won or is leading tonight in the Premier League. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. Fulham 0, Leicester City 2 was a result. Everton have just beaten Leeds United at Ellen Road 2-1. You've got West Ham 2 goals to the good, and Brighton here leading by a goal to nil, and have just got a corner kick as well.
Yeah, even though Liverpool came out looking the better side, looking sharper, looking like they'd had a bit of a talking to at half-time by the manager, it didn't kind of fluster Brighton at all. They've done what they did in the first half, and they've stayed toe-to-toe with Liverpool, and they've got themselves in front.
So a corner kick. After this, we'll get the full-time score in that second Women's League Cup semi-final. But it's a corner kick to Brighton on that far side, the right, delivered towards the far post, headed over, well over by Webster. So Chelsea earlier beat West Ham's women 6-0. What about Bristol City's women against Leicester City? Michelle Owen.
Well, Bristol City will join them in the final because they've beaten Leicester City 1-0. Very little to report in the first half and very little between the two sides until Bristol City took the lead in the 72nd minute. Ebony Salmon whipping in a ball, and it was Kira Skills who headed in on loan from Reading with her first goal for the club. Leicester were almost back in it when Paige Bailey-Gale turned just wide from a free kick. They put the pressure on in the final 10 minutes, but they couldn't make it count. Tight game, poor pitch here at Twickenham Park, but Bristol City have reached the final for the first time in their history. Bristol City 1, Leicester City 0.
And if anything here, Brighton leading by a goal to nil. They're not even sitting back on that. They're continuing to go forward. They've been very ambitious and adventurous here tonight.
They've played some really good stuff in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Some really confident 1 and 2 touch football.
Here is Salah. Takes it away from Dunk. Dunk, though, sticks to his task and gets the sliding challenge. Last touch came then off Salah, and then that will be a free kick to Brighton deep inside their own half. They've never kept 4 clean sheets in the top flight of Brighton and Hove Albion, but that's what they're threatening to do here, and by doing so, it would be not great for the teams beneath them, for Fulham, West Bromwich Albion and Sheffield United. In fact, Brighton would actually go above Burnley and Newcastle United in the down at the bottom of the table.
I see there's movement on the bench as well, Dano. Movement on the Liverpool bench. I can see that Origi is readying himself, and I think it was Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. Or maybe it's Jones, I'm not quite sure, but I know Origi's ready to come on. So yeah, Klopp is being proactive.
Yeah, meanwhile, cross from Milner, definitely Origi.
Is it the Ox?
Oxlade-Chamberlain is the one of the other players who's going to be coming on. So Jurgen Klopp needing a little bit. I mean, we said in the first half they'd lacked a spark, but that's a setback for them to concede to that Alzate goal. 10 minutes into the second half. Here is Milner. Turns into trouble but gets a free kick. Central position, and it's probably about 27 yards out from goal, but it looks very, very central. It needs a little bit of magic because in open play Liverpool are creating zilch.
Yeah, they're not being allowed to create anything at all. This one is, what's this one, 30 yards out maybe, sort of centre of the pitch, 5 yards from the D, on the edge of Brighton's box. You've got 4 players over it. Shaqiri's over it, Trent's over it obviously, and you've got Thiago as well. So yeah, it's Brighton that have forced Liverpool to play the way they're playing.
So this free kick, whether it's going to be teed up to Henderson, he looks poised. Alexander-Arnold is behind it. You've got Shaqiri and Thiago either side of the ball. It's then chipped forward, and that was an opportunity to Firmino, but again Brighton so alert at the back, and that was Webster just running back in to take it away off his toes.
The chance was there though, the chance was there. It was very well worked. 4 players around the ball, and it was Firmino, a little dink over the wall from Thiago into Firmino, and if it had taken it on the first bounce, on the half volley, I think the chance was on. Took too much time, and who was there? Webster. Absolutely outstanding defending.
Brighton lead by a goal to nil. Well worth the lead too. Liverpool toiling and trailing by a goal to nil on BBC Radio 5 Live. Out towards the far side. Robertson goes back to Henderson. Bypasses his central defensive partner to find Alexander-Arnold, who now brings Phillips into play. Ball chipped forward. Brighton have dropped off. Liverpool Coming forward, Robertson on the left-hand side. Robertson, though, cannot get past a combination of Gross and March as they defend the Kop and defend it very, very well. They've not beaten Liverpool in 9 league meetings since March 1982. Their only league success in 11. They've lost 9 and drawn 1. As Shaqiri is one of the players to come off. That's Origi and Alexander-Arnold. Who was the other one to come off? Is it on the far side? Is that Wijnaldum who's coming off?
It is Wijnaldum. He's gone off by the corner flag, far side of the Kop.
So it's Origi for Shaqiri and Oxlade-Chamberlain for Gini Wijnaldum. They're the 2 changes that Liverpool have made after 64 minutes on the clock at Anfield.
Yeah, Divock Origi's gone straight down the middle. Salah's come out to the right, and Firmino will play just off Origi's toes.
Salah inside, Alexander-Arnold, fouled by Basuma. Free kick to Liverpool. Full-time Rangers St Johnstone ready for side.
Good evening for one Liverpool favourite. Steven Gerrard's players leading or have posted a 1-0 win over St Johnstone. Hadji getting the only goal. Rangers 23 points in front of Celtic again. 11 games left to play as Steven Gerrard homes in on his first honour as a manager. 1-0.
And there's been a goal at Brentford, but we'll wait for the free kick, I think. In fact, no, there's a Brighton player down. We'll have time to get it from Katie Shanahan.
So it's Brentford 3, Bristol City 2. Bristol City pull one back thanks to Naki Wells, who was arriving late, and he pushed it into the far right-hand corner from the inside the 6-yard box to get one back for Bristol City. A little too late for them, as it's Brentford 3, Bristol City 2 with just minutes on the clock.
And earlier in the Championship, Rotherham beat Derby County 3-0. Very good win for Paul Warne's side. Takes them to within 2 points from safety. Solly March is getting the treatment. Adam Lallana is going to be coming on. Jurgen Klopp in the programme effusive in his praise for the former Liverpool player. But there's no time for any of that, because Liverpool need to get going, because they just have not fired at all.
No, they haven't, and time is running out. We're at 65 minutes at the moment, and there doesn't seem to be a player that's done anything. That's, you know, the spark that Liverpool normally get is from Salah or from Firmino or Mane, but he's obviously not playing tonight, so none of those players have really had the chance, because every time they find themselves in the Brighton box, on the edge of the Brighton box, wide on the edge of the Brighton box, they're under so much pressure by so many Brighton players. The organisation's good. Haven't broke the deadlock yet, Liverpool, but they are trying.
Problem seems to be with Solly March, who's still getting treatment with the left knee. He's still getting treatment inside the penalty area. For Liverpool, we mentioned that the last time they failed to score in 3 successive home games was October 1984 under Joe Fagan. The last time they lost back-to-back league games at home, September 2012. And for Manchester City, who earlier beat Burnley by 2-0, and Raheem Sterling on the score sheet as they registered a 13th straight win. That was a goal for Sterling on his 400th club appearance of his career. 2012 was when he actually made his debut for Liverpool against Wigan under Kenny Dalglish 9 years ago. Solly March isn't able to continue. The free kick is going to be taken. Played into the penalty area by Alexander-Arnold. Headed away by Dunk. Headed back by Alexander-Arnold. Flags raised. Sanchez has made the save anyway. And it'll be a free kick to Brighton. So Lallana is coming on for Solly March, who's struggling to walk in front of the Kop away towards our right.
Yeah, he was getting a knee check, so to speak. They were checking the stability of the knee. Sort of had his knee sort of bent, and they had their fingers clasped behind his knee as it was bent, and they were just wriggling it about and see if there was any movement there, and he wasn't very comfortable with it. His face was grimacing, and now he's just walking behind the goal, and he's actually got one person on either side, and he's really tiptoeing. He's in some pain.
Brighton still leading by 1-0. Mo Salah has never been on the losing side in the league at Anfield when he started. It's a run of games of 64 if you include the one where he started for Chelsea, but we're midway through the second half, and Liverpool just do not look like scoring. And the capital gain, with those back-to-back wins against Tottenham and West Ham, could all be undone here with another costly defeat at home. Maybe it would be Groundhog Day. I was only joking.
I know, but there's a lot of game. There's a lot of time yet in the game, so I'm expecting Liverpool to create a few more chances before this game finishes. But maybe Brighton will be doing the same as well.
Brighton still lead by a 0-0. Burn on the attack on the edge of the area. He was stopped. Milner plays it forward. Now does it open up for Liverpool? Firmino outside the centre circle in the Liverpool half, out towards Robertson, slows down on the halfway line. The champion's still behind, and we've got just over 20 minutes remaining. Mopé tries to win the ball, loses out towards Thiago. Liverpool coming forward. Alexander-Arnold, Oxlade-Chamberlain to Salah. On this right-hand side, plays it into the penalty area, but behind Origi, picked up by Sanchez, full-time at Brentford in the Championship. Katie Shanahan.
And another convincing victory for Brentford, who have come from behind to beat Bristol City by 3-2. Bristol City took an early lead through Zach Viner, then Sergi Canos got the equaliser from close range. Ivan Toney with a thumping finish put them in front before Saman Ghoddos made it 3. Late comeback from City with Nahki Wells pulling one back, but it's Thomas Frank's side that move up to second, 4 points off leaders Norwich, and extend their unbeaten run in the lead to 19 games. Brentford 3, Bristol City 2.
Yeah, they're going really well. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Liverpool, though, still behind by a 0-0. Thiago, central position. Oxlade-Chamberlain inside to Milner. Milner plays it out to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold, the cutback, it falls to Salah, and it just ricochets away off the left foot and into the Kop end. That was the best chance by far from Liverpool.
Yeah, and it's because they move the ball very quickly. Thiago into Ox into Milner into Trent Alexander down the right-hand side. He pulled it back to Salah with pace, and Salah just had to direct it towards goal because all the pace was on the cross. And Salah just leaning back slightly, and he just guided it over the bar. But that is just how Liverpool need to get back into this game. 1 and 2 touch, move it quickly, so Brighton can't get close to them.
They've lacked that zest, that zip this evening, haven't they?
What we've just seen is they've lacked all game.
Yeah.
There hasn't been that urgency.
Henderson, he was struggling there, but enough purchase on it to head the ball back to Kelleher. Throws it out towards Robertson, who managed to get away from the Brighton press. Brighton, though, are still quite aggressive. They're playing those royal blue shirts forward. Creates a bit of space for Robertson, but it's played behind him, and it peters out that Liverpool attack. And we've got 19 minutes remaining. And for Brighton, who've come into this game in their best run of form all season, unbeaten in 4, not many people would have expected them to come here, given their record at Anfield. But it would be a real boost for Brighton, a massive setback for Liverpool. Kelleher has to come out of his penalty area to head the ball out towards that far side, kept in play. Henderson then towards Phillips, who sold him a little bit short and hurriedly clears it out of play. And Liverpool just not convincing at the back at the minute.
No, they're not. And you know, I did mention Mopé earlier on in the first half, saying that, you know, Phillips and Henderson will have a proper job on their hands tonight, because he's a non-stop runner. He works hard, makes it comfortable for defences, and he's just forced a throw in there in the corner for his team.
So Brighton still lead by a 0-0, 18 minutes remaining. I think if you're a Brighton supporter, you'll be cheering on the royal blue shirts, but if you happen to be the persuasion of the sky blue for Manchester City, this will certainly be a result, as Firmino plays it towards Salah. Good sliding challenge there by Webster, because Liverpool were looking for 3 points to set up Sunday's game. I mean, even then, Manchester City would have been 4 points clear with a game in hand. As it is, the advantage could be 7 for a side that won earlier on. Oxlade-Chamberlain from distance over the top. Goal kick, and another minute's going to tick by here, Dion.
Yeah, there's a lot of this game left to be played, and I think Liverpool will keep probing, and they'll keep trying to find those little gaps with Brighton. And the way they've set up, they're not allowing Liverpool through the heart of that Brighton defence, or the heart of that Brighton midfield. They're forcing them down the right-hand side and forcing them down the left. You can cross it if you want. Anything in the air is fine. When Liverpool get it down and they get it wide and they get it on the floor in the box, it's a different game for them.
Here is Trossard coming onto the ball, and he plays it out towards Byrne, and Byrne, athletic on this near side, delivers a cross from the left-hand side, played it in first time, comes off the knees of Phillips and behind for a corner kick. This is where I think that Liverpool missed the supporters, attacking the Kop end.
Yeah.
They'd be urging and
absolutely, yeah,
the Reds on.
Yeah, they would be. They really would be. You can see that Liverpool have picked up the urgency, because Trent Alexander's actually kicked the ball over to the corner flag as if to say, come on, get on with the corner. Brighton are in no rush whatsoever.
16 minutes of normal time remain. Brighton and Hove Albion still lead Liverpool by 1-0. It's a corner kick on this near side, the left. They're attacking the Anfield Road end. It's delivered towards the far post. Dunk was up there, gets a second chance to play it back. Trossard first time in towards the penalty area. Phillips to Gross, hits it, comes out towards White and turned behind for another corner kick. And that was a very good save by Kelleher, because Gross's low effort might well have crept in at the far post, and another opportunity for Brighton.
Yeah, I think it was sneaking in. It sort of fell to Gross. It was on the angle on the left-hand side of the goal. He tried to curl it in to that bottom left-hand corner, and the keeper had to make a very, very good save. And Brighton are, they're pushing Liverpool all the way here. Got some big lads as well, in-swinging corner.
He was at full stretch away towards his left-hand side, was Quaveen Kelleher. Brighton looking for a second. Corner kick far side, didn't beat the first man. Headed away by Robertson. Comes to Basuma, lifts it forward. Alexander-Arnold brings it under control, now hits it early. Sanchez comes out of his penalty area. Lucky break might fall to Alexander-Arnold, but there was Alzate sliding with the clearance out of play, because Sanchez had read it. He had to get there long outside of his penalty area as Liverpool went for the direct route with quarter of an hour remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live. Liverpool, Henderson now will run forward from the back, tries to play it forward, stopped by Webster. Basuma lays it off and pops it forward. Trossard holds on to it. Forward ball now to Mopé over the halfway line. Not committing too many Royal Blue shirts forward. Here is Trossard, though, the Belgian international, runs forward, plays it out towards the left. Here is Byrne, who's continued his run. Byrne forward, didn't really have the power to trouble Kelleher. The flag is raised on that far side. It was saved by the legs of the Liverpool goalkeeper. But that's another indication that Brighton aren't sitting back here. That's the left wing back bombing ahead of Mopé.
Yeah, it was, and it was a nice little ball as well from Mopé to put him in. He's one-on-one with the keeper, but Dan Byrne just went a little bit too early with his run, and he was offside.
Well, Brighton deserve this. Brighton have had the better opportunities. They've defended very, very well. Here is Oxlade-Chamberlain, can't come through, falls then to Milner, first time shot. Dunk just throws himself in front of that. In comes Alexander-Arnold, headed away by Webster. Mopé tries to turn away from Phillips. Tidying up at the back is Henderson, and we're under 14 minutes remaining, and Liverpool still trail by 1-0. Alexander-Arnold plays it towards the right. Salah waits, edge of the area. Milner back out towards the right. First time cross from Alexander-Arnold. Headed away, comes towards Mo Salah. They're appealing for handball, strikes Basuma, shot fired in, takes a deflection, caught by Sanchez.
Wow, the amount of players that Brighton get back. I mean, I've just seen, I don't know how many defenders are back there for Brighton, but Dunk's thrown his body in, Webster's thrown his body in, White. Just doing what they do well. They always defend first, and if they have time to play, they'll play, but they're just hitting their head against the brick wall tonight, Liverpool. Really just can't find a way through.
Only one clean sheet in 16 visits to Anfield in Brighton's history in all competitions. They could be picking up one here today for 3 oh-so-precious points. They still lead by 1-0. We've got about 13 minutes remaining. What about the other 8:15 kickoff? Aston Villa against West Ham United, John Akers.
14 minutes to go here. Villa 0, West Ham 2. Villa have just won a corner they never should have had, and the header is put behind by a West Ham defender, and they'll have another corner here. They are pushing without really testing the goalkeeper. Still Villa 0, West Ham 2.
If you watch the game at West Ham at the weekend, you'll know about the instant impact that Curtis Jones came on off the bench. He's ready to come on now. Here is Firmino, who flashes one wide, and it will be a goal kick. As we have 12 minutes remaining, and in fact he will be replacing Robert Firmino. So Curtis Jones yet to score in the Premier League this season, coming on, and Liverpool, time is running out for them, Dion.
It is, and you know, having to use all his bench. I've seen he's been looking over his shoulder for the last 5-10 minutes. Jurgen Klopp thinking, who do I put on? Who can change the game for me? He's gone with Jones, and I mean, he'll do very well to break this Brighton organised, drilled side down.
39 years since they last won at Anfield. Not controlled by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Played away then by Brighton's defence, only as far as Milner, to Alexander-Arnold. Salah now on this right-hand side, laid out by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alexander-Arnold delivers a deep cross from the right-hand side. Alzate, the goal scorer, heads it away. Picked up by Robertson, plays it out towards Curtis Jones. Infield now to Milner. Milner forward to Alexander-Arnold. Low ball in to the feet of Salah. Salah, though, just can't get away. And there are the blue shirts. There must be 8 blue shirts inside the penalty area. Robertson plays it forward once again, headed away by Webster, hooked back in by Alexander-Arnold. Now they're defending deeper Brighton. The pressure coming on thick from Liverpool, out towards the left-hand side. Looking to try and drop his shoulder, Robertson to Milner, infield, teed up, played forward towards the penalty area. Sanchez comes to punch, doesn't really get much on it. White is tidying up on the byline to clear away. And now the pressure's materialising for the champions.
It is, yeah, and they're looking sharp now, Liverpool. If they can get a chance on target, which we haven't seen much of this game, yeah, they could be in with a chance, but it's just resilient defending from Brighton. Every blue player's back behind the ball.
They've been magnificent at the back, Brighton. Here is Mopé. They're going to make another change as well. Brighton, Connolly's going to be coming on very, very soon. Fresh pair of legs, no doubt, for the outlet. As Trossard now runs forward. And Trossard's entered the penalty area. And Trossard looking to turn onto his left foot, still twisting and turning and waiting. Back onto the left foot again, drills it in, and another good save by Kelleher. This time at his near post to beat the ball away. All the chances in this game have fallen to Brighton.
Yeah, and he had to be on his toes there. Kelleher, near post. Trossard again, twisted and turning. Very good chance and a very good save, I've got to say.
They've executed the game plan so well. They've been hard to break down, but they have committed shirts forward, and when they have, they've posed a threat. 9 minutes remain of normal time at Anfield on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tomorrow night, Tottenham against Chelsea. Yet another commentary for you with John Murray and Clinton Morrison at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here is Jones to Milner. The blue shirts camped in and around their penalty area. Forward ball, stopped by Basuma, gives the ball away. Henderson plays it back. Phillips has got to retrieve it. He drops back inside his own half, does the young defender. Now to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold, it's a deep ball in. Penalty area towards Robertson. Heads it back towards Thiago. Thiago towards Robertson. Jones trying to roll away from his man. Jones still going, shoots, takes a deflection. And it'll be picked up by Sanchez, the goalkeeper, inside his penalty area.
Yeah, their normal source of goals is predominantly for Liverpool is down the right and down the left, Robertson and Trent Alexander. But they've been kind of nullified tonight. They've tried to pull the ball back a few times to Salah, but there's a Brighton shirt there. Through the middle, Brighton shirts there. Down the left-hand side, it's just blue shirts everywhere.
The stats say one shot on goal for Liverpool. They just have not done enough. But there has been another goal at Villa Park, John Akers.
Lifeline for Aston Villa. Villa 1, West Ham 2. Grealish slides in Watkins, who finishes first time about 6 or 7 yards out. They've also brought Sanson on for his debut. They're still in this. 9 minutes to go plus added time. Villa 1, West Ham 2.
And you can hear what is undoubtedly going to be an excellent interview with Jack Grealish on Football Focus at the weekend.
Obviously, thank you very much.
Would you not say so?
Yes, thank you very much. I don't know who took the interview, but thank you very much.
Yeah, that's all right. You can watch the Monday Night Club on the iPlayer with Mark Chapman and the self-proclaimed best pundit Micah Richards. That's what he said. But with Dion's interview with Jack Grealish, I'm sure that Dion might have something to say about that.
Listen, I'll let Micah, you can say what you want, mate. I'm coming for you, Micah. I'm coming for you.
That's available on the iPlayer. Liverpool, as that change has actually happened, Mopé has gone off, Aaron Connolly has come on for Brighton. There are 7 minutes remaining of normal time, and Brighton still working very, very hard to keep Liverpool at bay, and Liverpool still struggling to really make an impression.
Yeah, this is huge. This is a huge performance from Brighton. You can see their players now, they've just got themselves a throw-in on the far side opposite the dugouts. No rush at all to get the ball. The players are ambling towards Liverpool's half, and they're absolutely shattered, but what a shift they put in. They really have. Not only have they played well and played the game in the right way, they've been organised, they've been regimented, they've forced Liverpool to play a way they don't want to play, and yeah, deserve to be one up.
To repeat what we said earlier of what Jurgen Klopp has said in his programme notes, Brighton are difficult to play against and plan against, and in many ways those words have been prophetic. Andy Zakiri is going to be coming on for Brighton. Another goal in our Sports Extra commentary at Villa Park. John Akers.
And West Ham United are on the way to 3 points. Villa 1, West Ham 3, and it's the debut boy from Manchester United on loan, Jesse Lingard again. Martinez maybe could have done better, squeezed under his body. He thumped the turf afterwards, shot 15 yards, decent power on it, and West Ham lead by 3-1 at Villa Park.
And that'll take West Ham back above Everton, who'd earlier won at Ellen Road by 2-1. Leicester City won 2-0 at Fulham. Manchester City 2-0 winners at Burnley. And here, with 5 minutes remaining, Liverpool 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. 5 minutes to go. Oxlade-Chamberlain, one of the substitutes, coming forward. Can't get through. They just cannot get through. Brighton have been so impressive. Here is Basuma playing the ball forward, out towards that far side. Now it's played out and forward, and it's Gross. He's got Connolly waiting. Can't get past Henderson. Henderson now will bring the ball forward for Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp just watching on. Here is Oxlade-Chamberlain forward to Salah. Mo Salah. Alexander-Arnold going on the overlap, not required. Inside to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oxlade-Chamberlain tussling for the ball with Gross, but Gross just did enough, and then it's played forward by Webster, and they don't break out too quick now. There's a large gap between the midfield and Connolly. Connolly will chase it, but they're keeping their shape. They've been so disciplined.
Yeah, they have really disciplined. I think with El Zate, Basuma, March on the odd occasion, and then it's Byrne on the odd occasion as well, just sitting in front of that back three, making it very, very difficult to play the intricate football that Liverpool like to play, and forcing them to go down the outside. It's not what they want to do, but needs must at this present time in the game.
Alexander-Arnold, Phillips joining the attack. By my watch, 86 minutes have now ticked by. Salah scoops the ball in, flicked on then by Robertson, and then cleared away by Lallana, the former Liverpool player, making his return to a club where he made 178 appearances. And as the ball goes out of play, now they'll make that change with Andy Zakiri, a 21-year-old. He's a Swiss forward. They're not bringing on another defender to shore things up, just another fresh pair of legs to replace Leandro Trossard.
Very good team to watch. Brighton, they've been good for this 3 points so far. If they get them, if they get over the line, still a few minutes left for Liverpool to get something out of this game. It wouldn't surprise me if they do create one more good chance. But they've had to work really hard tonight, Liverpool, to create anything whatsoever.
Yeah, and they've struggled to create anything whatsoever as a result. The 5 Live Football Daily, we're off air at 10:30, and then of course it's Colin Murray with that feature on TV sports commentary with people such as Barry Davis, John Hunt and Steve Bunce, as well as Conor McNamara, which should be worth a listen with Colin after 5 Live Sport. So I think we'll struggle to get live reaction here from Anfield, but of course you can listen to it on the 5 Live Football Daily, the podcast, also available through BBC Sounds. Liverpool on the attack. Origi with his back to goal inside the penalty area, still trailing by a goal to nil, can't thread it through. Basuma, just that shield in front of that back three, doing his job so effectively. The ball's over the top, it'll be another goal kick.
Yeah, just choosing the wrong ball there. Divock Origi went for a little intricate chip over the left side centre half, didn't quite work. Trent wanted it to feet out wide right as well, and another attack goes ineffective.
Tell you what, I'm a big fan of 80s music. It's going to be a flashback to the 80s. Brighton's first win since March 1982, and the first time since October 1984 that Liverpool have failed to score in 3 home games. That's what we're looking at, unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 minutes of normal time. We're looking at least 3 minutes of stoppage time, I would think, with the amount of substitutions that have been made. But Brighton are coming forward. It's Basuma. He's going to shoot from long range with a dipping effort, right foot over the crossbar and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I don't think Kelleher wasn't comfortable with that at all. It was 25, 30 yards out. Basuma, he has scored screamers before from that distance, but on that occasion put too much on it. But the keeper wasn't too sure if it was clearly going over.
I saw him score a cracker at the other side of Stanley Park against Everton. He's more than capable, is Basuma. But we're about to enter the last 60 seconds of normal time, and Brighton still lead by a goal to nil. Alexander-Arnold skips over the challenge of Byrne. Coming back there to help out was Connolly. What a shift these Brighton players have put in. What a team effort it's been. Connolly with the block, with the throw, Alexander-Arnold. Phillips. Milner gets it out to Alexander-Arnold. Cross from the right-hand side. Dealt with again by Webster. Basuma blocked by Origi. There is Byrne back there helping out. And you've got Alzate filling in as the right wing back. Byrne on this near side. It's like a back 5 now for Brighton. And we're going to find out how much the fourth official is going to add on as Robertson makes one of those charging runs into the penalty area. But it's caught by the goalkeeper in front of the cop, Sanchez.
Yeah, he's going to take as much time as he can as well. And I'm just trying to figure out how many chances that Liverpool have come up with tonight. Is it 1 or 2? The keeper's hardly had any. He's not been diving about, Sanchez, tonight, has he?
No. I'm struggling to think of the one that they've had on target. Certainly I didn't write it down on the piece of paper. 4 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Brighton, who have created the opportunities, by the way. Kelleher has made at least 2 good saves in this second half after they took the lead through Alzate's first goal in the Premier League 10 minutes into the second half. And as the wind picks up here and starts to bite a little bit high up in the back of the main stand at Anfield, the draft for Liverpool will be the gap between Liverpool and Manchester City, which will stand at 7 points before Manchester City will come here on Sunday with that 7-point advantage and on the back of a 13-winning match streak for Pep Guardiola's side. You'll hear all the game as part of 5 Live Premier League Sunday, one of 3 commentaries on Sunday afternoon on 5 Live. And Liverpool, when we thought they had to win this one, will certainly have to win that one, as they're going to drop more points at home.
That's great work from Brighton, that Liverpool trying to play out. And there's no time at all on the clock, and we're into the 4 minutes overtime to be played. But Brighton are still pushing, they're still working so hard.
Yeah, don't be thinking it's 1-0 to Brighton. It's been a smash and grab. That would be disrespectful to Brighton. It's been no such thing. They've come here, they've defended well when they've had to. They've limited Liverpool to very few opportunities, just a one if that, and yet they've gone forward and played forward. They've been superb tonight, have Brighton, and Liverpool have got 2 minutes to try and grab a point, because the 3 long since gone. Just looks like one of those games where, in the rain now on Merseyside, They just don't look like they're going to score for the reigning champions of the league. Forward by Henderson, dealt with by Webster. They've not put a foot wrong, Brighton.
No, they haven't. They haven't.
Here is Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Forward, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Salah, level with the penalty area on the right. Plays it to Oxlade-Chamberlain once again. And this time closed down by Webster. Comes off his knees and behind for a corner kick. Liverpool have a late corner. Dion.
I think this is just going to have to go in. There's no intricacy needed. Get it into the box, see what happens. Miss out that first man, Trent Alexander. Give your team a chance.
Alexander-Arnold swings over the corner. Sanchez, excellent goalkeeping. Came a long way, but what a take two-handed.
Yeah, and 4 of his players there patting him on the back. Byrne, Webster, Dunk giving him a bit of a pat on the back. Well done, keeper. Take the pressure off us. Thank you very much. Stay on the floor as long as you possibly can. Eat up that clock.
And by my watch, 60 seconds of stoppage time. It's always a minimum, of course, remain. But Brighton still lead by 1-0. And every away side is going to pick up the 3 points in the Premier League tonight. Games that you can see on Match of the Day at 10:45. Liverpool. This will be the final opportunity to try and rescue a point. Thiago coming forward, plays it to the edge of the area. Alzate, the goal scorer, gets the clearance. Out of play it goes for a throw. Picked back up off that small white cone. Liverpool hurriedly get the ball back in play. 15 seconds remain. Phillips forward. Thiago collects it, rolls it out towards Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold goes back to Phillips. Brighton have that line outside the penalty area. Milner floats it forward, comes off the head of Alzate, behind for a corner kick, but there is the final whistle. And what a win for Brighton and Hove Albion. Their first win at Anfield in 39 years, and thoroughly deserved. But for Liverpool, back-to-back home defeats, it's a huge setback for the champions. It's finished here, Liverpool 0, Brighton 1.
Remarkable performance by Brighton, and we'll get the thoughts of Dion Dublin over the next 25 minutes. If we can get reaction, then we will, before Colin at 10:30. If not, you will hear it on the sports bulletins throughout the evening, and you will also hear it, obviously, as part of the Football Daily podcast. Still playing at Villa Park, John Akers, but it's been an impressive performance from the visitors.
It really has, and from Jesse Lingard. Villa 1, West Ham United 3. We've got about no seconds left as the referee blows the final whistle. I'd have waited for that. Villa 1, West Ham 3. Very impressive. First win here in the Premier League since 2014. 10 wins for West Ham now this season. That's the same as their tally for the whole of last season. And what a debut. He can't have dreamt of a better debut for Jesse Lingard. Frozen out of Manchester United, comes here on loan. His first goal since the last game of last season against Leicester for Manchester United. 2 on his debut. I mean, he got a bit of fortune with both of them. Martinez would probably say that he should have saved certainly the second one and perhaps the first one, but he won't care about that. Watkins and West Ham, very impressive. Very evenly matched for much of the game, but West Ham's finishing has got them all 3 points. Villa 1, West Ham 3.
OK, just before we go through all the Premier League results, elsewhere tonight, Rotherham beat Derby 3-0 in the Championship, and Brentford beat Bristol City 3-2. So Brentford are second, 4 behind Norwich with a game in hand. Rotherham now just 2 points behind both Birmingham and Derby as they try to get out of the bottom 3 in the Championship. In the Continental Cup, Chelsea's women thrashed West Ham's women 6-0. Bristol City's women beat Leicester City's women 1-0. So the final will be Chelsea against Bristol City. In the Scottish Premiership, Hamilton 1, Ross County 2, Motherwell 2, Dundee United 1. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. The win for Ross County means the gap between them and Hamilton is now 4 points at the bottom of the table, though Hamilton have 2 games in hand. Rangers are 23 points clear of Celtic at the top. Celtic have 2 games in hand. Arbroath and Inverness drew 1-1 in the Scottish Championship. Dunfermline beat Wraith 4-1. In the Premier League then, wins for all the away sides in the 5 games this evening. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2, Fulham 0, Leicester 2, Leeds 1, Everton 2, Villa 1, West Ham 3 and Liverpool 0, Brighton 1. The table is as follows. Manchester City 47 from 21. Manchester United 44. Leicester 42. Liverpool 40. West Ham 38. They've all played 22. Everton have 36 from 20. Tottenham and Chelsea both have 33. They play tomorrow. You'll hear it in full here on 5 Live Sport. Villa are in 9th, 32 from 20. Arsenal, after last night's defeat at Wolves, 31 from 22. Leeds, 29 from 21. Southampton, 29 from 21. Palace, 29 from 22. Wolves, 26 from 22. Brighton are up to 15th, 24 from 22. Unbeaten in their last 4 in the Premier League. They've won 3 of them. Newcastle, 22 from 22. Burnley, 22 from 21. And the bottom 3, Fulham, 14 from 21. West Brom 12 from 22, Sheffield United 11 from 22. Let's go back to Anfield. Ian Dennis and Dion Dublin. Ian, no fluke at all for Brighton this.
Absolutely no fluke. It's Brighton's first win at Anfield in 39 years and they thoroughly deserved it. Liverpool suffering back-to-back league defeats at home for the first time since 2012. Jurgen Klopp has a huge respect for Graham Potter. He says they're difficult to play and plan against, and his side certainly struggled this evening because Brighton, disciplined, well organised at the back, but carried a threat going forward, and the best opportunities throughout the game fell to the away side, as for the first time in Brighton's history, they have kept 4 successive clean sheets in the top flight. I mean, they had an opportunity in the first half, which, although there was a late flag, I actually think it would have stood. Byrne blazing the ball over after Moped done good work. March had a shot that was saved. Liverpool didn't really create anything, and then with a cross that eventually came in from the right-hand side, Byrne heading the ball back. It fell to Alzate, just getting there ahead of Trossard with his first Premier League goal 10 minutes into the second half. But they protected that lead extremely well, and if anything, looked like the side that was going to get the next goal. Kelleher twice making very good saves from Gross and Trossard. So absolutely, Mark, there was no fluke about this. Thoroughly deserved for Brighton.
What impressed you most, Dion, about Graham Potter's side?
Energy. The energy, the amount of energy they used closing Liverpool down. And then they were doing that at pace, closing Liverpool down at pace. But when they got the ball back, chappers, they seemed to have an air of confidence and an air of coolness and knowing exactly what they wanted to do and finding the gaps that Liverpool normally find of their opponents. And no, I thought Brighton were outstanding. Really well organised, well drilled and a good side to watch.
Their last 4, I said, unbeaten in 4. Their last 3, the last 4 games, they've won at Leeds, Ian. They've beaten Tottenham and they've won at Anfield. Arguably, the game they drew was at home to Fulham, where the expectation would be that's what they should have won. But those 3 victories at Leeds, at Anfield, and at home to Tottenham.
Well, as you know, they've struggled at home. The win against Tottenham was the first home win in 15 Premier League games since going back to June. But away from home, I mean, I've seen all their away victories on their travels.
You did mention in commentary that you are partly responsible.
Yeah, I'm sending the invoice to Graham Potter and at the end of the game. But they've been impressive. I mean, they are an attractive side to watch, but It changes his formation as well, does Graham Potter. I mean, when that game against Leeds, White played as a defensive midfielder. So he can tweak things, he can change things. They've had to deal with injuries. I mean, McAllister, who, like you said earlier at the start of the game, he's been playing well. He's been forced out tonight by an injury. But they've got players who just come in. But they're just, I mean, the defence tonight, how many times whether it be Dunk, Webster or Byrne, just threw themselves, or White, threw themselves at something to limit Liverpool to very few opportunities. Great credit to the way that Brighton played. But this wasn't parking the bus. When they saw the opportunity, you got Byrne forward at every opportunity as the left wing back. They played very well. It was a very good performance.
If they can settle on that as their back three, I know White has occasionally been in midfield, hasn't he, Dion? But if they have that as a back three of White and Dunk and Webster, and then Basuma in the middle of a midfield three or a midfield five, whatever the formation may be going forward, depending on how fluid this is, that's solid. That is really solid.
It is, because, Dunk in the centre of that three tonight, White on his right-hand side, Webster on his left-hand side. And what they did, as Liverpool came down the middle of the pitch, White and Webster found themselves closer to Dunk, so there's no gaps in between the centre halves at all. Byrne dropped into the left, March dropped into the right, and they had to find another way of breaching that blue wall, and Liverpool just couldn't find it. Basuma was outstanding. Alzati's work rate was brilliant. Gross and Trossard and Mopé doing what he does. I think with this side, what they do is, it's very simple, and it's quite silly to say, but their defenders defend, their midfield players create, and their centre forwards try to score goals. It's really simple.
And as far as Liverpool are concerned, people thought they'd turn the corner, didn't they, at West Ham? Not just because they'd won, but the nature of the goals that they scored. A clinical counter-attack from the West Ham corner, the individual brilliance of Salah, the fantastic team goal for the third. And yet so many of the problems of previous games seem to come back tonight. They couldn't break Brighton down.
No, there was no cut and thrust about Liverpool. The first half, there was a tempo that was predictable. It was quite slow. Brighton were always back in numbers, and it was, they just couldn't break Brighton down. And it's the first time since 1984 they failed to score in 3 home games. Salah has never been on the losing side in the league at Anfield when he started, so that run has gone now. The previous 64 match, that sequence, that's disappeared as well. And you watch the game, Dion, and you never felt, only at stages in the last sort of quarter of the game, did you think Liverpool are putting Brighton under pressure?
No, and Liverpool came out in the second half absolutely flying for the first 5-8 minutes, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Klopp's had a word with them, and they've had a bit of a telling off at half time. Pick up your game. You're at Anfield, you're playing for Liverpool, and they came out absolutely flying. But Brighton didn't panic. They did what they do, and they did it well. They got the ball back, and they played. They never, Chappers, when they received the ball back, even in their own box, they tried to play out, and they, more often than not, they did it, and they did it really well. Nobody seemed to panic.
The temptation, as always, if Liverpool don't break teams down, is to focus on the front three, whatever the combination may be. But do you think they're getting enough from their midfield at the moment? Do you think they have the right balance in midfield? And I understand that, some midfielders are having to play as centre halves at the moment. Not Fabinho tonight, but Henderson has recently, hasn't he? And he did tonight.
Yeah. I just think that it's taken them to a place where they don't want to be regarding the midfield. They never wanted Henderson to leave that midfield. Fabinho's a very, very good footballer, a very effective midfield player. Wijnaldum, I love Wijnaldum. He was non-existent tonight and got taken off. Thiago's trying his hardest to pick out those passes, those forward passes, those no-look passes. Milner's trying to organise players around him. But everything they tried tonight, regardless of how many midfield players you've got playing centre-half or in midfield, Brighton had an answer for it. And, if you look at the game in its entirety, Brighton deserved to win the game.
Players have to be managed very carefully, don't they, this season, and young players in particular. But are you surprised that Curtis Jones isn't starting at the moment? And I also appreciate you quite often become a better player when you're not necessarily involved from the start. But he's had such a good season so far.
Yeah, he has, and he's been very effective. He's got himself into great scoring positions, and He knows when to play the right pass at the right time with the right weight. Very talented footballer, but it's very difficult to know who do you leave out for him. I mean, Shaqiri tonight was again, he's trying to make things happen, but he was limited. Every time he got it, he had a blue shirt in front of him. And that wasn't just him. There wasn't any Liverpool player that stood out tonight that I thought, well, yeah, he's done well tonight. None of them.
Ian?
I sometimes think that Shaqiri doesn't give you enough off the ball in terms of, when you think about Liverpool putting teams under pressure, he seems to be a little bit more of a plodder in comparison to others. And I just think that when they lack that zip and that zest, you're wanting a little bit more from him. Do you see what I mean?
No, I do, and that little bit of urgency.
Yeah.
Show me something, show me something different. I just think when Liverpool came out for the second half, Chappers, they played 1 and 2 touch. They played it very, very quickly. Excuse me. They moved Brighton around the pitch, and they had a little bit of joy, and they got in behind Basuma, and they got in behind Alzati, but that was it. There wasn't anything else, and I didn't see Sanchez diving about his goal, tipping the ball over the bar and being under severe pressure. Gross and Trossard up top tonight, in behind Mopé, were brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. Basuma, some of the passes and some of the interceptions that he made tonight were outstanding.
If you look at Brighton in comparison, there wasn't one player who put a foot wrong, and there wasn't one player who everybody worked, put a hell of a shift in. But you had Byrne on the left wing back, March as a right wing back. You had White, Dunk, Webster, Gross, Basuma so effective. And even when the substitutes came on, Connolly backtracking, putting blocks in. Everybody to a T bought in to what Graham Potter, and they executed the game plan perfectly.
Let's get it right. Liverpool had a good side out tonight. And Liverpool tried to play the way they normally play. They tried to be positive. They tried to get crosses into the box. Every cross, I'm pretty certain every cross that came in tonight, whether it was on the floor or it was in the air, I would say that it was 80%, 85% a Brighton head or a Brighton foot gone on it first. They were ready for anything that Liverpool threw at them tonight.
I just want to switch it to the Villa. I say I won't switch it to the Villa West Ham game because Jurgen Klopp is live with Juliet Ferrington.
Hey Jurgen, I mean, you're smiling to me quite nicely, but frustrated overall, disappointed with that performance tonight.
Yes, of course. I only smile because I'm a friendly person and you smiled as well, so I have nothing to smile about, really. Yeah, that's how it is. It was a tough one to take, so explanation. They sound very often like excuses, but it was for us now a really tough week. 2 away games, 2 very intense games, and tonight it looked really like we were not fresh enough mentally and physically. And yeah, again, that's the outcome you saw. A lot of moments where we gave the ball away too easy. We have had moments where we really were in a promising position and we passed the ball in their feet, and didn't see that very often, to be honest. And how I said, the only explanation I have for that is the boys looked in moments tonight really
tired.
Not sure if tired. Yeah, maybe tired. Mentally, it's like when you see the situation, I know they can pass the ball from A to B, and that moment the ball doesn't arrive. So you think, okay, that's not cool. So in these moments, we made it too easy for Brighton. But on top of that, Brighton did really well. So they had different plans. One plan was long ball on Byrne, going for the second ball, which is smart. That's how they scored the goal. Difficult for us to deal constantly with it. And the other thing is, of course, when they play football, then you have to run a lot. And running a lot was not the best thing for us tonight. And that's why we lost the game.
Yeah, you just didn't look comfortable against them, and in a way, I mean, I know Graham Potter's right next to you and lining up for the interviews, the endless interviews you have to do, but they forced you into that, didn't they? Yeah.
No, they did well. They deserve to win. There's no doubt about it. That's done. But of course, for me, it's much more important than that we lost the game to try to find explanation. I have to watch this game back, but definitely, and I didn't obviously yet. So to understand what happened here tonight, all what I saw looked in moments like not convinced enough about the thing, but that's not. The boys are convinced about what we're doing, but in the end, if it looks like that, there must be an explanation. I have to find out.
I know people will look at the table and everything else. How much of a setback is this for you? Bearing in mind you've got Manchester City coming now on Sunday.
Yeah, of course it's nothing good to say about it, to be honest, apart from it's over. And that's the only thing. Yeah, no, there is. it is whatever setback we have to qualify for the Champions League. So we know that, and that's what we try with all we have. But then you can say, then make more changes for the lineup, but then we don't have rhythm. That's all the problem. That's how it is. So we will play better football, I know, but this week was now really hard, and we got 6 points out of the week. We lost the second home game in a row, which is absolutely the opposite of what we want. That's all not cool, but not to change anymore. Now we have to work with it.
Thank you for your time, Jürgen. Thank you.
Jürgen Klopp with Juliet Farrington. Let's just switch to West Ham's win at Aston Villa with Ian Dennis and Dion Dublin. You didn't see this game because obviously you're Anfield, but the headline story is Jesse Lingard, West Ham debut, 2 goals. You don't want to go overboard too soon, but what the benefit of a fresh start can do wonders for someone.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a player he's hardly played at Manchester United. I think he's had a really difficult time. 2 or 3 appearances that he's made. It was a period where he had to self-isolate. And so I think West Ham United have got a player who will feel an opportunity for him to be reinvigorated, if you like. Not only in terms of getting his club career back on track, but also the incentive will be to try and force his way back into the fold from an international point of view. And David Moyes will know Jesse Lingard extremely well, and in that sense, it might turn out to be a shrewd bit of business for West Ham.
Yeah, he's not going to become a bad player because he hasn't been playing for Manchester United. He was a very effective player for Man United for many, many years, and I'm looking at the team tonight. He had Ben Rama on one side, Fredericks and Rice and Souček, and Antonio in front of him. So for him to be able to play in an area that he likes to be, he's creative. He obviously scores goals as well, and he'll be loving this. He'll be absolutely loving it. Yeah, tonight he'll be loving it because he's played well and scored goals, but he'll be given a licence to go and play. Go and do what you do. Go and do what we've bought you to do.
Yeah, he needs to play football, doesn't he?
No, he does. He does.
He's been so maligned for really, without being given much of an opportunity recently.
No, he hasn't. And I say it about so many players that if they don't play, it doesn't mean, well, it hasn't worked. He's not good enough. Get rid of him. He's a bad egg. It's not about that. It's about get the opportunity, give them the opportunity, get them back in the first team. If they earn the right and they've been training right, get them back in the first team. If you don't want them, allow them to go somewhere else to play. He's gone to a very well-run football club that have made some very good signings recently, and they are now on the up. West Ham. They seem to be very stable within their squad. They've got a good manager that's been there and done it. And you look at the players now. Got some very good players, strong squad of players.
But also with a manager who knows him, who has worked with him, and that probably shouldn't be underestimated if you're moving mid-season.
No, he'll know when it's time. Do you put an arm around Jesse now, or do you go down his throat and say that's not good enough? He will know how to manage Jesse, and Jesse will react to what the manager's looking for, and he's reacted tonight.
I would imagine it was one of the reasons why he went there, because of David Moyes. I think that would have been a huge factor in his decision-making.
He said to television afterwards, 3 points is the most important thing. The team worked hard as a collective in training. We have that connection and build it up fairly quickly. On match day, it is fairly easy to play with Mikel Antonio and Declan Rice. Let's just get some reaction from Everton's away win at Leeds. Finished 2-1. Carlo Ancelotti spoke to Tom Gale.
Carlo, big emotion from the bench at full time. A well-deserved 3 points.
An important performance after the defeat against Newcastle. The reaction was really good, really pleased for the reaction.
From the stands, it's a great spectacle, very entertaining. How about you as a manager watching what you saw?
Against Leeds is always, and with Leeds is always entertaining game. My opinion, they are playing with a lot of intensity. To win against them, you have to sacrifice.
Gylfi with a goal, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin in particular, he won that corner and then he's back getting a poacher's goal, just what he needs.
I think I'm really pleased for the performance of both of them, but not because they scored, because they worked really hard and they had the team to defend better.
And Robin Olsen obviously coming in for Jordan Pickford. How impressed were you with the Swede this evening?
He played well, he's really experienced, and it is a good signing for us.
And is there any update on Jordan? We know it's injured ribs. Do we know how long he may be out for?
No, I don't. We have to check in this day. It was not a big problem. He was not able to train, so we will see tomorrow or Friday if he's able to play on Saturday.
Carlo Ancelotti with Tom Gale. Back to Jules.
Graham, we've kept you 30 seconds waiting. It's pouring down with rain. This is your first win, well, Brighton's first win here at Anfield for 39 years. You don't care, really, do you? It's raining. 3 points.
Well, it's better to be standing here with 3 points, that's for sure. Fantastic performance from us. So proud of the players. They gave everything, and when we had the ball, I thought we attacked quite well. Caused some problems, defending when we had to as a team. Amazing performance.
Huge performance. Dion Dublin called it a huge, massive performance. Because when you even went ahead, you didn't stop. Towards the game was closing out, you didn't stop. You just kept going. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, when you come here, you have to be close to perfect, and I thought we were tonight. Spirit of the team, courage of the team, the players were amazing. I can't say anything else. I thought it was a good football game. We didn't just sit in, we tried to take part in it, and against a team with such quality, it's not easy. We're at stretches sometimes, but I thought we coped with it well, restricted them to not too many chances. So yeah, overall it's a fantastic evening for us.
Fantastic evening overall with the points, but you picked up another injury as well, didn't you? That's a bit of a setback, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The lads are at full stretch, and the games are so close together that it's a real challenge. It's not just for us, it's for everybody. So we have to recover, we have to regroup, and we have to try to prepare to go again on Saturday.
And Sully, how is he?
Yeah, it's not looking so good. I haven't seen him totally, but I think it's his hamstring, so we'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad, but not looking great at the moment.
You've got the momentum though, and hopefully that will get you through this tricky period you've got right now.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, we've got a good group, a lot of players competing, and we've got some coming back, so that's positive. But yeah, it's a challenging period. Like I said, it is for everybody, but we just have to keep going, try to recover as best we can, and keep fighting.
Keep going then. Thank you so much for your time. Sorry for the rain and no brolly.
Graham Potter live with Juliet Ferrington. More reactions come throughout the evening and on the Football Daily Pod. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Tottenham against Chelsea. Full commentary with John Murray on 5 Live Sport. Colin is next evening.
Thank you, mate. Have a good night. Thank you so much for the last few hours. Much appreciated. And coming up, sports fans, don't go anywhere, because between 11 and 1 o'clock tonight, a full 2 hours, we're marking the anniversary of the first ever TV commentary, 1937. On this very day, the first TV sports commentary. We're using it as an excuse to get together with loads of people from the world of sport, legends including Barry Davis, and we're going to celebrate over 2 hours some of those great moments. We're going to replay, and you can steer it as well on 85058. So we're going to continue that sport theme after about half an hour of news, and we're going to kick that off with the latest news and sports headlines with Aaron Paul.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Colin. Boris Johnson has said the government will remain cautious in its approach to the virus despite the colossal effort to vaccinate more than 10 million people across the UK. A further 1,322 deaths within 28 days of a positive test for coronavirus have been reported. England's Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, said it would take time for vaccines to reduce the number of COVID-related deaths. The Cabinet Office Minister, Michael Gove, has held talks with the European Commission and the Stormont executive about extending exemptions on checks for some goods between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Tension has been increasing since the European Union threatened to impose controls on the supply of coronavirus vaccines on the Irish land border. Canada has designated the far-right group Proud Boys a terrorist entity. The government said the decision was influenced by the group's pivotal role in the riots in Washington, D.C. last month. This year's Golden Globe nominations have been unveiled in an online ceremony from Los Angeles. Netflix tops the chart with 42 nominations across categories in both film and television. The Best Director shortlist is dominated by women for the first time, with 3 of the 5 nominees. British stars including Gary Coleman and Jodie Comer are also up for awards. The winners will be announced at the end of this month. In this evening's football, and a solo goal from Stephen Alzate was enough to see Graham Potter's Brighton and Hove Albion beat defending champions Liverpool by 1-0 at Anfield. It's the first time the Reds have tasted back-to-back home league defeats since September 2012, and league's Jurgen Klopp side 7 points behind Manchester City, with the two set to face each other on Sunday, a match you can hear on 5 Live Sport. Speaking of City, and Pep Guardiola's side regained top spot over beating Burnley by 2-0 at Turf Moor this evening. Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling on the score sheet there. In this evening's other Premier League fixtures, and Jesse Lingard struck twice as West Ham continued their rich vein of form, running out 3-1 winners at Aston Villa. Elsewhere, and Everton were 2-1 winners away at Leeds, whilst Fulham's survival hopes suffered a further blow at Craven Cottage, that after they were beaten by 2-0 by Leicester. In the Championship, and Brentford were 3-2 winners at home to Bristol City, whilst Rotherham beat Derby by 3-0, whilst Chelsea's women's team will take on Bristol City in the Continental Cup final. They beat West Ham 6-0 this evening, whilst Bristol City narrowly beat Leicester by 1-0. In Scotland, and Rangers are just 6 wins away from clinching the Scottish Premiership title, that after a 1-0 win over St Johnstone. There were also wins for Motherwell and Ross County this evening. To rugby, and winger Josh Adams has been released by Wales after being suspended for the first 2 matches of the 2021 Six Nations, that following a breach of COVID-19 protocols, whilst Ireland have confirmed their captain Johnny Sexton will be fit to play in his side's Six Nations opener against Wales on Sunday. Up next on 5 Live, it's Corin Murray.
The voice of rugby union.
How will that change the complexion of this game?
Previously in the Six Nations, rampant Wales, slick Scotland, feisty France, and a thriller at Twickers. Then, abruptly, the scrummaging ceased.
Lots more to come on coronavirus.
But once rebooted later in the year, England won the tournament. So what of 2021? The Six Nations starts this weekend.
On Saturday, on 5 Live Sports Extra, Italy against France from 2 p.m. And on 5 Live, the Calcutta Cup.
It's the most historic fixture. It was the first international game 150 years ago.
England against Scotland, kick-off 4:45. Plus, on Sunday, Wales versus Ireland from 2:45 on 5 Live Sports Extra. The Six Nations 2021 on 5 Live, 5 Live Sports Extra, and across the BBC. Colin Murray, Monday to Wednesday, 10:30 till 1 on 5 Live.